Alrighty, so it's another day, another dollar, and it's another wonderful update from Starry Studios on Once Human, where they have decided to, instead of making positive progress through the game, they've decided to once again reiterate the beginning game loop. And I normally want to be really against this, but since the very beginning of the game, I've kept alts, because as a content creator, one of the things people said to me was, you make these videos and you don't consider that you're doing these things with a character that has 5 years of play or 2 years of play or whatever. Like, that was the big critique people gave me in ArcheAge, which was a completely fair critique, and I needed to consider that. I needed to consider, you know, I have a character that's 5 years of experience, and now I'm saying, oh, this is really easy, but a player who just started. So I try to keep a couple of alts around that are somewhat developed, but not so developed that I don't remember, like, I'm trying to do it and it's like, oh, okay, a new player would encounter this. I think some of the changes they did in Once Human were really good. One of the biggest problems people had, well, let me back up. It wasn't that hard to get a 6-star weapon and 5-star armor, or 6-star armor. It wasn't that hard. It was challenging. You needed to play. You needed to dedicate a certain amount of time every month to the game. But it wasn't hard. Like, I think we need to pay attention to the difference between the word hard and the word time-consuming. Difficult and time-consuming. But we also have to keep track of, say, difficult versus annoying. Well, now I really do enjoy the change they've made. Instead of having to go to the wish machine and mess around with the wish machine and hope you get the right blueprints and buy this and sell that, or collect this and blueprint convert that, you want to upgrade a piece of gear now, you just right click on it, and then down here on the bottom behind my big fat head, you just spend straight star crop. Which, cool. You spend straight star crop. But then what they did was they put another throttle on it. They limit you to 66,000 star crop per month. But why? Why do you put artificial roadblocks in the way? If a person wants to no-life this game 16 hours a day, every day, for weeks at a time, let them. Let them. If they do that, they're more likely to spend money. They're more likely to open their wallet. So let them. StarCrom earned this month. The limit resets in 3 days and 21 hours because we're 3 days and 21 hours from the end of the month. Now, I understand the patch notes say one thing, but the dev blog says a different thing. And this has been a problem we've had with the patch notes and the dev blogs. As a reminder, the patch happened for multiple times in a row. They've told us what day the patch is going to be, and we've compensated that time to be earlier. And then this time the patch happened exactly when they said, which was great. Bravo, you did the patch exactly when you were going to say. But for some of us, you've been wrong the last 14 times. Now, whether or not it's per month or per week, we'll find out. I'm betting it's 66,000 per month. But either way, right? Either way, why would you put artificial roadblocks in people's way? Let people just play to their heart's content. I could understand Raid Zone having artificial throttles because it's your competitive PvP, and I appreciate that. But at some point you have to ask yourself, if you're not going to work on vertical progression, if you're not going to work on vertical difficulty, I'm aware, and I just showed you where it says, this is the problem. In your blueprints menu, StarCrom earned this month 66,000 out of 66,000. If it was weekly, I would have imagined it wouldn't have been full for me because the majority of my 66,000 was earned along the things. But you're saying on the BP menu, it says on the right side, weekly limits. Oh yeah, weekly limit right there is 66,000. But when you click into it, StarCrom earned this month 66,000 out of 66,000. You're going to be mad if it's 66 a month. Well, the truth is, it doesn't really matter because once you only need to have one weapon at 6 stars because then you can just blueprint exchange. And you only need to have 6 pieces of gear. You only need 1 piece of gear at 6 stars. And you get enough blueprint conversions. Once you 6-star out one piece, you can just right down the line. What they need to do is they need to recognize a balance of, yeah, we want to like slowly redo some things, but I just cleared effectively what is on Manibus. Recommended players 4. Oh, recommended to have 4 players. Okay. Well, gosh, I sure am glad that I need 4 players for this. Gosh. I sure am glad that the endgame content takes me a whopping 26 seconds to run. I have it down to 22. I'm 4 seconds slow. I'm ineffective this morning. But that's why I love this game, because they're getting an A for effort. Yeah, 4 rookie players. I've never done that all the way back to season 1 day one launch, well, like week 4 when it unlocked, I have never done that with 4 people. Yeah, the first season beating him with a group took 20 minutes and set you apart from everyone on the server. And then very quickly they put out this goal, clear Leia Labs solo in 20 minutes. And in the first season you were like, this is gonna be impossible. There's no way I'm ever gonna be able to do this. And then pretty soon you were like, clear Leia Labs in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Well, damn. I didn't even have enough time for my Chinese food to get here. But also, Rail, I think you're right. I think the other changes, as I remember, I'm gonna make an alt on a Manibus server today just to check. I do remember them saying scenario-based changes won't affect the permanent servers. So like that's why we can still make, we're still able to make like aluminum, because our server-based change, we don't get the server-based change. We get scenario-based changes, but not those ones. Like if they were to add a new silo, I don't think we get it on this server, because it's a scenario-based change. That's the driver to get you off of the old servers. The driver is to get you to go to the new content, which I disagree with as well. Like, I get that you want fresh start servers. I understand, but I don't see the driving need for it. Maybe if they gave us like a reason, I would be like, oh, cool, I get the reason, but I don't get the reason. I also think it's funny that I can go up there and I can one mag the Forsaken Giant, and if I go up there and I kill him 20 times, I gain ammo because he drops enough electronic parts for me to, I use smart ammo, and then he drops enough E-parts that I can just make the next batch. And I'm looking forward to something more difficult. I don't think I can crush all this at one time. Oh, I can. Look at that. Don't even care about anything purple. I wish there was an option to just auto-crush purple. Auto-crush melee weapons. I wish we could auto-crush anything without... Like, having weapon damage go all the way down to 34%. It's another one of those... Why? Why did you have weapon damage go all the way down to 34%? That's sexy. I like that. 49.2 and a 15.9 crit rate. That's just about perfect. Like that one. What's that? Weak spot damage. I'll keep that. Oh yeah, I'll keep that real quick. I mean, I get what they were trying to do. They're trying to make the game. Well, hold on, let me back up. I don't know what they're trying to do. A 5-4 with Optimus 5 and run fast. You have the golden horseshoe of deviations, I swear. What was the pretest grade on Eternal Tombs? The pretest grade on Eternal Tombs was a 5. Cautiously optimistic, no glaring big problems. I do want to give the developer of Eternal Tombs a big shout out though. Right after my stream on Thursday, he reached out to me right away and he said, I'm watching your stream and I'm making changes based on some of your feedback. And then I already talked to Josh this morning. My YouTube video got 2 copyright claims on it, which as a content creator absolutely sucks. If I have to not play your music while I'm gaming, to me, and this is just to me, that's a big immersion breaker for me. Yes, you finished your first draft of your game design document. You mentioned that yesterday. Which I'll take a look at if you ever want to send it to me. But, Josh, I messaged him this morning. I said, hey man, I'm getting copyright claims on my videos for the music. I said, but a solution is I own PGN Music and I have a ton of fantasy music. His immediate response was, yeah, it's on my list and I wanted to reach out to you and talk to you. So I'll talk to him after the stream. Dude, if I won't, if you want me to, I'll sign an NDA, but if you send me something, anything somebody sends to me in a PM, I don't talk about people's stuff, because that's kind of bullshit. It's kind of why we end up in a terrible world to begin with. 4. Get in there. All right. Might check the bomber class. The charge melee attack isn't registering as a hit. Seems like it could be fun class though. Yeah, today my goal is, if I go into Eternal Tombs today, my hands are really sore, so I'm gonna see how my hands feel a little bit. I just woke up, I made steak and eggs, made a coffee, got going. I'll see how things are. I want to look at, I looked at Chloromancer the other day. I want to look at Bone Stitcher again today, because those are the two that I played. But what I will say is, Eternal Tombs is looking really good. I already sent an invite. Well, he hasn't accepted. So send it again. Yes, oh, do I have adrenaline shots? Fuck no. Why the fuck would I have those? I've got to have adrenaline shots somewhere in a chest that I sort. Oh, I did have adrenaline shots. Oh well. We're good. Yeah, the copyright messes up traction in the algorithms, and that's the other problem. So as I was saying, it's really, developers need to be really careful about their music. Several games I've played, their music was like Final Fantasy. Somebody, somehow with Final Fantasy's music licensing, some of the tracks are owned by somebody else, and they're only, Square Enix has the right to use them in their game, but there's like 7 types of licensing when it comes to licensing music. Not to bore you all with like a music industry thing. Where there was a big problem with Twitch Soundtrack. Twitch Soundtrack only bought the licensing for live broadcast. They didn't buy the licensing for recordings. So the problem is, I'm a streamer, I use your music, but then the VOD, the live stream is good, but the VOD isn't. Well, where do content creators get a lot of their traction? They get their traction on the VOD. Well, I'm not going to use Twitch Soundtrack. The whole reason I started PGN Music, Twitch Soundtrack had an amazing collection of jazz, but I kept getting copyright claim. So that's why the first couple of albums on PGN Music is jazz. I don't like this change they made. Move away from the target. They make so many changes, so many little changes to the game. It's like, yeah, FaZe were annoying. The meta these days are making YouTube Shorts without the copyright to get people to join the live. Yeah, short form content is right now the meta. Does it work? No. It works for some people. It doesn't work for everybody. How are we liking the new patch? This is really our first jump in with the new patch. I will say I'm not a fan of it. I'm a fan of the weapon and armor progression for new players. Get him to not burn your target. Yeah, it depends on your content, it depends on the streamer. The short form content isn't automatically going to drive people to your long form content. And a lot of people, a lot of content creators have been saying you need to be making short form content. Well, short form content is a form of content in and of itself. It's kind of like the idea that each platform is its own medium. If you're making posts to Instagram, hoping to get people to come to long-form content, well, you're going to be disappointed. Because Instagram is a platform with its own rules, its own metrics, its own engagements. You will get some trickle through. But if you're treating Instagram as a pump and dump to drive people to your long-form content, you're not going to get the results you want. You have to treat it like a platform and understand the value of having an Instagram. Understanding the value of having a TikTok, YouTube Shorts. There's a value to each of those platforms. It's one of the major reasons why TikTok hasn't figured out yet that... Twitch hasn't figured out yet the value of having vertical VODs is great. Break. You don't have like a scroll like TikTok does or YouTube does. If you go to YouTube, you can click on Shorts and just scroll through Shorts the same way you brain rot on TikTok. If Twitch were to do that, there would be value. It would be great if Twitch had two categories of vertical clip scroll. Because you know how like TikTok has friends, for you, following, and then they used to have STEM. I don't know if they have it anymore. Well, it would be great if Twitch on their homepage, if they did people who are live, people I follow, recommended for me. So I want to scroll through vertical VODs, vertical clips of only people who are live. Because that way, if I find somebody that I think's entertaining, I can click on a button that says, go to their live. Twitch's response would be, we don't necessarily want to do that, because how do we benefit? Well, you benefit by putting ads. Yeah, they tried with Reels. That's also why, if you remember, Facebook Gaming. I don't even know if Facebook Gaming is a thing anymore. You remember Mixer came out. Mixer had the whole, we're gonna give Ninja 27 million some odd dollars to come to our new platform. And what happened almost immediately? Ninja went over to the new platform and his numbers dropped to sub 10%. Because while Ninja was well known, and Shroud was the other one, I know there were a handful of other people that got Mixer contracts, but the two big ones were Ninja and Shroud. While they got some people to go over to their platform, they didn't get enough. They didn't get enough people to go over to compensate the money that they paid Ninja and Shroud. Well, that's why Mixer fell apart with inside of a year. It's why YouTube streaming is got something over Twitch streaming. You stream on YouTube, at the end of your stream, you take 2 seconds, you throw a title, a description, a thumbnail. Not everyone's gonna watch your VOD, but some people are. I think where the big value comes in for medium-sized creators, and I'm not a medium-sized creator, I'm a small creator. I'll be the first to admit, I'm small. Not that way. Small as a creator. Is if you have a video editor, or you have a person who's gonna make money, you're gonna split the money with them by all they're gonna do all day is edit up your shows into segments and clips. And if you can afford to pay that person a little bit of money at first, and then say to them, if you do this for 6 months, and you dedicate yourself to it, and we start making progress we start making additional income, then I'll throttle down how much I'm directly paying you, and I'll start paying you 50%, 70%, whatever the magic number is. I'll pay you 55%. You get more than half of the money that you bring in using my content made up as VODs and shorts. That's a great deal. If the person streams often enough that you can make enough content to make money on them. Asmongold's a great example of this. I see Asmongold's kick, and I don't even know, I'm gonna be honest. I see a lot of people, and I don't like this about the industry. I see a lot of people basically ripping off Asmongold. Jesus, none of my shots or none of my heals are popping fast enough. I see a lot of people taking Asmongold's content on random channel names. And they're getting 600, 700,000 views. That's a lot of money. Some of Asmongold's videos hit 2, 3, 4, 5 million views on YouTube. That's a lot of money. And Asmongold has recently revealed he's still making crap tons of money because he owes quarterly he owes 6-figure, 7-figure quarterly tax deposits. Well, if you owe, and I don't know how he has his business structured, but if I owe $100,000 in a quarter, then that means I made $500,000 in that quarter. That's part of Asmongold's marketing ploy. He allows the clip army to eat and turn in so they're strong, so you can't avoid once you're in his algorithm. Right, exactly. And that's the smart play. He doesn't need any more money. He knows he doesn't need any more money. So he's not out there fucking about. He's not having a fight to eat, which is exactly what more creators need to do. They need to recognize, are you gonna fight, are you gonna fight for pennies on the floor, or are you gonna let the people fight over pennies on the floor, and you're gonna just wait for some guy to deliver stacks? His monthly income from YouTube was $350,000. He said all 4 of his YouTube channels do the same. So that's $1 million a month. That's $1 million a month in just YouTube. So if he's doing $1 million a month in just YouTube, and he has 1 editor, I'm assuming he has more, but we'll just say he has 1 editor. That means the editor's making $500,000 a month. And it's not like Asmongold doesn't produce enough content daily that editor isn't gonna eat. Like, what's the Matthew McConaughey, the gentleman? There's only one law in this jungle. When the lion's hungry, he eats. Well, Asmongold ain't worrying about eating. He's already said he has millions of dollars in the bank. He said multiple times, I can stop doing this and never work again. But if he's making other people money, that's great. I've never gone out of my way to look for Asmongold on TikTok. But he's interconnected to so many topics. I get Asmongold TikToks. I've never once looked for Asmongold on TikTok. That means his reach is unreal. Because he's just popping in, which is great. The flaw is there's a lot of content creators who think that his level of success is even remotely obtainable. His level of success, he's a lot like World of Warcraft. He is really a great example of the World of Warcraft window of opportunity phenomenon. I don't think the parameters, the circumstances, the conditions are ripe where you'll see another Asmongold, where you'll see another Ninja. You'll see a lot of good content creators, but unless we were to have another lockdown in America due to COVID, I don't think you're gonna see another content creator rise to the Ninja size or the Asmongold size. And Ninja was a freak phenomenon because he was a streamer who happened to be incredibly talented at one video game. But Ninja took it in a different direction. He was on The Masked Singer, right? He dropped the ball in Times Square. He did a masterclass. So he didn't just say, oh, I'm gonna make all my money as a content creator. He said, I have this brand, what am I gonna do with it? Twitch streaming is in the end game right now, not even making it another 10 years. Twitch is in its end game. Twitch is in its end game. Streaming isn't in its end game. Content creation isn't in its end game. Twitch is just at its end game right now because the single most important thing about Twitch's failure is Twitch isn't really... Dan Clancy is constantly having to reverse rulings he's made because they're making bad calls. You can't multi-stream. If you're a partner and an affiliate, you can't multi-stream. YouTube says you can multi-stream. DLive says you can multi-stream. Kick says you can multi-stream. Then Twitch has to come back and say, okay, you guys can multi-stream, but you can't show your chat from other streams. Well, then people develop alternative, the ability to have OBS make alternative scenes for where you're streaming them to. And then they come back and they say, okay, you can have a consolidated stream or consolidated chat on your stream. Well, the reason why is if you get into the Kick partner program, Kick says this to you. Multi-stream if you want to. If you do, you don't make as much money. But if you only multi-stream to Kick and then vertical platforms, TikTok, Twitter, I think YouTube Shorts counts if you're only sending a vertical, then you keep all of your partner money. Well, think of it this way. I have 8 people on Kick right now, and I have 13 on Twitch. If I were to cross a threshold where I was routinely getting more people on Kick than I am on Twitch, I wouldn't multi-stream to Twitch if I needed the money. I would simply say, okay, the time has come that I'm making more money on Kick. I'm going to just be a Kick partner because Kick is going to give me a paycheck every day. Because Kick does. Usually within 24-ish hours after I finish a stream, in my company bank account, there is a Kick streaming payment, an electronic transfer. Now, granted, I'll share with you, it's about $1.37. But for somebody that has to feed their kids, you know, building up your platform on Kick and getting, you know, say you were getting $70 a day. Because you figure I'm getting $2 with 5 or 6 people. I also discovered you on Twitch, even though I prefer to use support Kick. I can assume it's true that discoverability is way lower here than Twitch. You're right, Nifty. You're 100% right. Discoverability on Kick right now is very low. But that's also part and parcel because right now, Kick is only 25% of the live streaming audience. Am I getting a kickback? No, I'm not getting a kickback, but when you see that money hit your account, it feels like a kickback. But the other thing is, when you get paid every day that you stream on Kick, you feel good about yourself, right? Let me just say this. When you stream for a month on Twitch and you don't make the minimum, you don't get paid. For a lot of people, that's just demoralizing. And they give up. But if you see that little bit of money hit your account every single day. For me, and I'll be completely honest, seeing that little bit of money for me every day doesn't move the mercury. Where the fuck are you? Well, that was weird. I don't take anything out of my streaming. It goes to PGN Music. And I'm looking at starting a charitable organization. But if I see that money hit every day, and then I think to myself, what do I need to do to get to $100 a day? Because at $100 a day and 12 shows a month, that's $1,200 a month again. And for running a charitable organization, $1,200 a month from just one income source, then you start thinking to yourself, well, that's some sandwiches. You know, that's diapers and formula for like, you know, that's being able to reach out to my community and be like, hey, I've officially gone through the ass pain of setting up a charitable organization. Here's the form. Tell me your story. And then, not that I want to exploit people's stories, but and I've learned a lot about charitable organizations that I didn't know this week. I've always worked for like Shriners, 65 Roses, but I've never, I don't know anything about the organization management piece. But if imagine being in a streamer's community where you could fill out a form if you're hard on luck, and if life kind of kicks you in the balls, and be like, yeah, I'm filling out this form because diapers and formula would go a long way this week. And then, boom, here you go. I can't send you cash. But what I can do is give me your address, and I'll Instacart you diapers and formula. You tell me exactly what you want, and I'll Instacart it to you. Or you have to go into the store, and you can only buy diapers and formula on that receipt. I can't have anything else on it. Just ask the cashier if you can have 2 transactions. And then you send me the receipt for diapers and formula. So then I'm able to send you the money. Would it create a lot more work for me? Yeah, fuck yeah, it would, because I'd have to track those things, log those things, but I'm willing to do that. Because every day, like last night, I said to a friend, I said, I think it's just time for the planet Earth to be cooked. We're in really bad shape as a species. But if I feel that way and I'm blessed, how does the single mom feel if she can't even put food on the table? And we've created a society with so many rules for helping people. Did you know this? I didn't know this until I actually sat down. I knew that I can't give money away out of the C Corporation. That I knew. I found that out 5 years ago. That's why any giveaways I do are giveaways from me, the person. Like, if you've ever gotten a Steam gift card or a Amazon gift card from this channel, you didn't get it from the corporation. You got it from me. Because corporations are limited. They can only give $25. I need to get your name, address, phone number. As much as I hate this shit, if I want to give you a gift out of the corporation, I need your name, address, your phone number, and I need your fucking social security number. Because I need to issue you a 1099. If I give you a gift above $25. I want to give you a $50 gift card, but you have to give me your social security number and all your identifying information because you need to get a 1099. Nah, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not doing that. I'll just give you money out of my own pocket because it's easier. I noticed that you changed up fonts of the album artwork. I like the fonts match a bit better with the art. Yeah, that was one of the things. What I originally was doing is I was keeping the font uniform across all of the albums so that if you ever saw a PGN album, you would be like, oh, PGN. But somebody said, you know, your album's covers kind of suck. And since you're not selling a physical copy, you probably want to make your album covers not suck. And I was like, oh, okay. The VA terminated AFGE again, and the judge ordered the contract reinstated and gave them until Tuesday to file an explanation for why the VA should not be held in contempt. Well, yeah, but here's the problem. Even though it's not a politics show, I'll talk about that one real quick. The judge is going to hold the organization in contempt. And do what to them exactly? Fine them? So the U.S. government's gonna fine the U.S. government? Okay. Where's the money where's the money gonna go? Like, until people in the government can go to jail, you're not gonna fix the problem. It's like, remember when the judge ordered immigration to produce the guy that they deported? And they're like, cool, we're in contempt. Now what? Well, I'm gonna put somebody in jail. And then the executive branch literally said, okay, who's going to pick them up and who's going to put them in jail? Because you don't own any enforcement capability. And the judge was like, shit, no, I don't. It's like, yeah, you're gonna tell the executive branch that they have to arrest a member of the executive branch. Yeah, let's see how well that works. But that's something that we can talk about on Monday, because that's a really good talking point. If you kick that to me on Discord, I will prep a segment on that. I think they suck, but I think the font gives an impression of a SoundCloud artist a bit. Makes you think, I don't know if this is gonna... You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely... And that is one of the things, if and when we were to start making, like, a lot of money, that is something that and we are starting to make a fair bit of money. Like, fuck it. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. We had a 10,000 random stream day for PGN music the day before yesterday. Yeah, the art looks good. The font looks terrible. Dude, you're never going to hurt my feelings. If you criticize something, you are never going to hurt my feelings. I had one in the military took it away from me. And they forgot to reissue it back when they retired me. I don't have feelings. I tell people, like, when I come off as blunt and abrasive, I'm not an asshole. I'm a neurodivergent. I was never taught feelings. I'm an Irish kid. I have a neurodivergent Irish father. Little boys grow up to be their father. I don't understand feelings. You're never gonna hurt mine. I don't have any to hurt. I'm that teacher from that one movie. This bag doesn't have any feelings you can hurt. I don't have any feelings you can hurt either. You can't hurt my feelings. There are about 9 people on the planet that can hurt the things that I pretend to have that look like feelings, and those are my kids and my grandkids. So if you have feedback, be like, Jay, that last album cover sucked. Jay, your thumbnails suck. And I'll be like, cool, they suck. And then I'll say to you, what do I need to do to make them better? And if you say I have no earthly idea, I'll say, cool, that's still good feedback. You're telling me what's bad about them, but you don't know how to fix it. I'm cool with that. I think that's a step a lot of people don't have. Like, you'll notice I have really good relationships with a lot of game developers. I have really, really good relationships with a lot of game developers. I thought I had a good relationship with Steven Sharif. It turns out I didn't, because he's a narcissistic megalomaniac who is caught up in the hero worship and the god complex. But even Tryon Worlds, Gamigo, NetEase reached out to me when I'm sorry, let me back up one step. The Once Human division of NetEase reached out to me when I stopped making content. And I'm a nobody content creator. But they still noticed that I wasn't making content. They said, is there a reason you stopped making content? I said, yeah, because I'm playing Where Winds Meet right now. I'm only logging in weekly. I'm streaming Where Winds Meet. As soon as I said that, NetEase, the person on the Once Human content creation team, kicked that message over to the Where Winds Meet content creation team, and 5 minutes later I was in their program. Not because I'm large, not because I bring them a lot of money, not because of any of these things, but because I give pointed, useful feedback. This is bad because they have 250,000 people making content for them that are saying, this is great, I love this. Your state is going through something similar. We voted to get rid of vehicle safety inspections, and now the private company that was doing the safety inspections sued the state EPA, and the judge ordered the state to reinstate the inspections or face fines, and the state just said, we're not paying and we're not reinstating. Right. We're not paying, we're not reinstating, because that's not how this is supposed to work, and we know that you can't do anything about it because you're the judicial branch. Uh-oh. Down again. Yep. So yeah, like, what are you gonna do? You're a judge. You don't have the ability. You don't have any enforcement capability. I'm kind of the same. I'm wearing a t-shirt from a book series. Guy made fun of my weight. It made me bad because it sounded like he was making fun of my book. My wife got mad because he was making fun of me. Oh yeah, right? Like, hi buddy. You're making fun of me. Okay, I don't give a shit. Oh, you're making fun of Ender's Game? Knuckles up, bitch. I gotta fight you now. Jay, your hair is ridiculous. Yes, it is. It's ridiculous. My hair is ridiculous. You make fun of my hair all you want. You make fun of Mr. J? Oh, I'm gonna fucking fight you. I'd love to have devs eat similar. I'd love to have a dev's ear similar to you do. I've been trying to provide good feedback on Marathon, but I have no idea if the devs are seeing it due to the tons of other feedback coming in. Right, and that is ultimately the problem. People constantly say, oh, Jay, you're negative. How am I negative? Well, because you say bad things about the game. Okay, stop. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Or do you disagree? And they're like, I don't agree. Okay, so your problem is not that I'm giving feedback. Your problem is you have a pseudo parasocial relationship with the game, and you're afraid that my feedback is going to change the game. It's like the funny example of that is the day I covered Mortal Online 2, the developer reached out and gave me a key. So I'm covering Mortal Online 2. And I have 100 people in my chat. And one of them is the developer. And as I'm talking about things, he is literally, quite literally saying, I agree with the feedback you're giving. In fact, I'm making some changes right now that incorporate some of the things you're talking about. So there's 100 people in the chat. The majority of them were Mortal Online 2 players because, holy shit, somebody's actually streaming their game. The dev is there saying he agrees with me. And 2 people are telling me that I should fuck off because I'm killing the soul of their game. And my only response to them was, guys, your game has less than 1,000 concurrent players. And it's supposed to be a large MMO. If you have less than 100 concurrent players, the soul of your game is already tainted. There's already a fail here of some amount. But what's even worse is the dev is in here agreeing with me. So I'm not the one changing the soul of the game. The lack of anything that looks like income into your developer's wallet. He's the one changing the soul of the game. Because he has this thing. I want to eat. The dev says, I would like to maybe one day not have to work 16 to 20 hour days. I'd like to have enough income to hire staff. Like, I don't think any legitimate person wakes up and says, I want to build a pile of shit product. Maybe Steven Sharif. Maybe Steven Sharif woke up every day and said, you know what I really want to do? I want to build a pile of shit product. I don't think any other serious game dev does. Time spent in a game can amplify your willingness to defend it. A game that should not be named has thousands of hours, and I told myself others it was great. It was shit. So you were part of that crowd too. Right, and the issue is, good is the enemy of best. Best is the enemy of better. If I suddenly say something like, I want you to take this game and I want you to make this action combat game full tab. Okay, I'm trying to kill the soul of your game. But if I say something like, okay, I'm not a big fan of action, so I will admit I'm not a big fan of action combat. I'm not qualified really to give feedback, but what I will tell you is, if you made a couple of these small little changes, tab-centric players might be more willing to try it. And your immediate response is, fuck off, you're killing the soul of the game. Well, then you want your game to stay small. I've been fortunate to learn from your content that it's important to include a why. Devs have a hard time making improvements if they don't know why there's a problem. Right. I don't think even Sharif wanted to build a pile of shit game, but he discovered he could still commit fraud and scams with a pile of shit and didn't need a decent game to do it. I think, as harsh and as mean as that sounds, Nex, I think you are correct. I think that Steven got too caught up in the God complex. He got too caught up in the hero worship. And he didn't dedicate or spend enough time understanding that I can't borrow $120 million and be another $60 million in interest debt and not have a game that's producing money. Also, I think there's something incredibly fucked up about a scenario where on your own asset sheet, you value the code at $0. Like, did you know that? In Ashes of Creation, they valued the code at $0. Huh? Every one of the songs you hear on my show has a value to it. The value to it is not how much it's made or how much I think it'll make or some fucking bullshit projection. Every single song, the dollar value of every single song is what I paid for it. Now, do I have some songs that have paid for themselves? Yes. I have 4 songs that have over 100,000 plays each on Spotify. They have more than paid for themselves. One album on Spotify has paid for most of the music. Most of the stuff that came after. Yeah, code is worth 0, but somehow the copy-pasted assets are worth millions. You're right. I think there's a balance to be struck here. Listen to feedback, but also listen to every feedback. And try to make your game fit niches. Yeah, so here's the thing. Feedback with no why is useless. Because feedback with no why, this sucks. Okay, this sucks. The next guy down says, this is great. Okay, so now you have one this sucks, one's this great. What do I change? What do I alter? What do I fix? What do I iterate on? This sucks because, for example, why do Korean games generally not have colorblind mode? Because Koreans generally are not colorblind. Colorblindness isn't as prevalent in their genetic makeup as it is in Westerners. So, for a while, there was no colorblind mode in Korean games because they didn't see the value of it. But then, some developers have realized it's a very, very low-cost solution to fix colorblind mode. Inverted y-axis. Some people like to play their shooting games the way they play their flight simulators. Okay. We can get down with that because it's a very minor change. It's a $50 solution that solves a $50,000 problem. But you're right. If you get 100 pieces of feedback, you have no idea which ones are good and which ones are bad. Yeah, absolutely. You are... So there is something to be said about... And there is a certain value to be said. If Asmongold gives feedback, there is a legitimate value to weighting his feedback a little more than you would rate mine. Because Asmongold is streaming to 80,000 people, and his opinions can't be completely unhinged on every topic, or logic tells us he wouldn't be streaming to 80,000 people. But no, number one, he does explain his, sometimes most of the time he explains his feedback well. I don't want to say he always does it, because he doesn't. But where I agree with you is, people have biases. In the last 2 or 3 weeks of my politics show, I've been trying to focus in on people understanding you have biases. I have a bias. I like tap target games. Yeah, these are bullshit, man. These are worse than the other ones. I'm gonna put that in for feedback. Fuck. Oh, settle your ass down. But like you said, a big streamer says this game needs jetpacks. And the devs are like, okay, we'll do that. And now all of a sudden, the game has jetpacks and they don't fit well. How do you submit feedback? You hit escape, and right down there's a button that says feedback and customer support, and I know they read it. Feedback without a Y isn't feedback, it's just complaining. For the sake of narcissistic reasons. They just want someone to agree with their opinion and validate it. I agree with you there. I 100% agree with that statement. A lot of people, a lot of streamers have narcissistic tendencies. And they get mad. See, I don't get mad when people disagree with me. I get mad when people try to derail the show with their bullshit. You can disagree with me all you want. I have lots of people that disagree with me. But they disagree with me and they give me facts, figures, empirical data. Like the guy yesterday on the show, I warned that motherfucker because I liked that guy. I liked that guy. That guy, I liked having him on the show. But I said to him, dude, you're being obstinate now. We were talking about the 7 deadly sins and he kept saying, they're not the 7 deadly sins, they're the passions. And I said, okay, please write a book and tell me what the passions are. And then he literally Googled something and he's like, I'm like, dude, you're calling them passions because that's what the Orthodox Christian Church calls them. They're the 7 deadly sins. The rest of the world calls them the 7 deadly sins. Like, yeah, you want to call them the passions because that's what your religion calls them. But I already went down. And then he wanted to tell me about how greed and avarice aren't synonyms. And I'm like, dude, stop. We're moving on. I'm like, I'm giving you the option to stop talking because you're not making a good argument. And then he goes on and on. Well, somebody else in my community went and looked it up. Well, the Russian language has 3 words for greed, which is fitting because of the Russian history of corruption. Makes sense that you got 3 different words for greed. But, dude, I'm not interested in having a debate with you. So stop. And then he doesn't want to stop. Okay, well then, dude, my recommendation for you is make your own Twitch channel that I'll never come visit you on. Because I'm not interested in having this debate with you. A lot of people want, like, I don't think I'm always right. I think statistically speaking, I'm more likely rather than less likely to be correct. But I make mistakes, especially when I'm doing a politics show and I'm like, people are bringing in things that I don't have prepped. Sometimes my show prep is 8 or 9 pages, 8 or 9 legal pads worth of pages. Sometimes it's 30 or 40 Microsoft Word pages because I have all my notes and talking points and figures and facts and links. But when somebody comes in and says, I want to talk about Smith versus the Paddington Steel Company, I'm like, bro, I've never heard of that court case. You're going to have to give me a minute or you're going to have to give me a link or something. You have an example, all hell let loose. Their streamers ask for the removal of stamina and sprint. Guess what they did? They asked for removing the breath aim penalty after sprinting. Guess what they... Oh, yeah, so the problem is... What you're doing then is, if Grumpy Old Man is here, he'll love this one because he's the one that reintroduced me to this one. A horse is a camel that was designed by committee. Horse is not a very good animal for the desert. Camel is a really great animal for the desert. It's not a really great animal anywhere else. But I don't want a camel. I want a better horse. When you start having a bunch of people with their opinions, you end up with a product that's for no one. A product for everyone is a product for no one. Make the product, stand by your product, don't worry about feedback. Yeah, camel spit, and camel spit is the fucking nastiest fluid on the planet. But, make your product. And if you've done your market research, then you know whether or not your product is going to survive. Yeah, I see what you're saying. My label for the exact same thing is more correct than your label for the exact same thing. It's like arguing between aluminum and aluminium. It's also like one thing that it never came to my attention until later on in my life. I used to get a lot of shit from people for the words I would use. I would be driving with a friend and I'd be like, why don't you ever use your indicator? And they'd be like, my what? I'd be like, your indicator. And they'd be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, and I'd have to sit there and I'm like, what the fuck is the, like, I had a really great girlfriend. She usually sat in the back seat when my buddy was driving, and I'd have to lean over the seat. I was like, hey babe, what's the American word for indicator? And she'd be like, turn signal? Yeah, why the fuck don't you ever use your turn signal? And they'd be like, where did you get indicator from? From my father? Well, where did he get it from? From fucking Europe? Like, in over time, I adjusted to it, right? But yeah, I wasn't about to spend any more of my Friday arguing with the guy about the 7 deadly sins that they call passions. Okay, so yes, the lights do finally make a difference now. They haven't for like 2 years. Yeah, color and color. Yeah, you blinka. You blinka, you car blinka. Gotta love Boston, baby. Austin just has an H on everything. There's no H in that world. Shut up. But I think we're facing in gaming. In gaming, we're facing an idea that nobody has a good game. Everybody has a bunch of halfway decent games. So everybody is fighting all the time about what game companies should do. Yeah, the blinkers don't work because they ran out of blinker fluid. That's right. People are... The worst offenders, and I think you'll all agree with me, is... When people say Apex Legends needs to be more like Valorant. No, it doesn't. Apex Legends needs to be like Apex Legends. If Valorant is so good, why aren't you playing Valorant? Like, people will say stuff like, if Final Fantasy was more like WoW. No. If you, like, right now, I would recommend people go back to playing WoW. Apparently, WoW is really good right now. But I don't want Final Fantasy to be like WoW. Yeah, if I was more like Asmongold, or what people have said is, if you were politer, you wouldn't lose so many viewers. Look, I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of sycophants. You're playing WoW right now is watching. Is it good? Like, honestly, give me the no bullshit. Is the new expansion in WoW good? Like, anybody that's playing it, I don't have a lot of WoW playing friends. I see Jamie Chaos talks a lot about WoW, and then I saw Gigabear talked a lot about Gigabear talked a lot about the housing, and he's well known in WoW for the housing thing. It's not a lot of quality of life improvements. You're enjoying it. You're saying it's not horrible. It feels like more WoW though. That's fair. I think the biggest disappointment was that Steven Sharif just Not only did Steven fuck the industry, not only did he fuck his employees, not only did he fuck the consumers, the content creators, but he fucked all the small studios that are gonna come after him, because everybody's gonna be hesitant to crowdfund back support companies because of what Steven did. Yeah, your Ashes refund is denied because they have no money to get the money from Intrepid because Intrepid is broke. Yeah, he fucked every indie game dev. Absolutely. It's a lot more wild than Shadowlands was. It's better than, I don't know, TWW, which was massive improvement. It's no Legion. You put around where Cataclysm was. I got my commission right after Wrath of the Lich King. So right after Wrath of the Lich King, I was busy, and then Final Fantasy 14 came out, and then that was fun for about 3 months, and then the server desync packets were terrible. There were a lot of games in there. Rift, Star Wars The Old Republic. Like Star Wars The Old Republic. Let's talk about that one real quick. Star Wars The Old Republic is a model for a lot of ways to do things. And it's a model for a way to not do things. The makers of Star Wars The Old Republic literally said, we thought Star Wars fans would play through the campaign multiple times with different characters. And they're right. If it had been a single-player game or a standalone game, they would have. But because it was an MMO, they forgot to account for MMO play. A lot of MMO players want continuous development on a single character. So 52 to 55 days into Star Wars The Old Republic, that was it. There was no more content. And then they're blitzing and rushing trying to get more content out, and they end up releasing bad content. Star Wars The Old Republic, and I've heard it has had some changes over the years, but it ultimately is a grinder. TWW is The War Within. Most fun for me since Legion. This one feels like WoW. Dragonflight was bad. The War Within was okay. Going back to locations from the Burning Crusade with huge overhauls on continuations on old stories feels great. I will see that. That is where you need to make old shit new shit again. Ashes of Creation is back with Intrepid Steven. No, it's not. Let me stop you. You are flat wrong. Steven doesn't control Intrepid Studios. So Ashes of Creation isn't back with Steven. Ashes of Creation is back in Intrepid Studios under control of Robert Dawson, who's the chairman of the board. Steven Sharif made the decision to quit the company. He's no longer the CEO. Steven's biggest fuck up in life was resigning. Yeah, but TWO, you've been on my channel long enough. I've had to actually say this to you in the past. If you're the one who said it, you own it. If you're repeating bad information, then you need to go back to who told you that information and say, don't say it's back with Intrepid Steven, because it's not. Steven believes he represents Intrepid Studios. Steven doesn't represent Intrepid Studios. Steven owns less than 4%. Jay Oddity is wrong. Jay Oddity is 100% wrong. Like a lot of these content creators who have no background in law, not even pre-law, they don't know how to read, and they're believing all the shit that Steven says to them. The owners, Intrepid will own Ashes of Creation. Robert Dawson will likely sell Ashes again, but properly. Steven will technically have around 4% of Ashes of Creation. No, I think people need to understand some stuff. Nobody knows how the Ashes of Creation thing plays out, including myself, because none of us are privy to the MSA. And the MSA is the Master Shareholder Agreement. It is the redo that Robert Dawson forced through because Steven was selling off parts of his company. And as I've shown multiple times, everything Steven did didn't make sense because none of the values add up. One guy puts in $2 million and owns 22 shares. One guy puts in, One guy puts in $2.25 million and owns 44 shares. What Robert Dawson has done, and what I laugh about, I think Robert Dawson has his legal team watching my show because Robert Dawson did exactly what I said he should do. And that is, the Article 9 sale wasn't righteous. The courts are going to tell you to reverse the Article 9 sale. And then, that you're going to not have as much control. You fucked it up. You fucked it up every way you could fuck up an Article 9 sale. You fucked up. You failed to notify all the creditors. You failed to notify the company it was being sold. You failed to notify a senior creditor because a senior creditor has to be paid before Robert. Now, Robert sounds like he doesn't understand. Banks don't lose money. Banks will fuck your day up to get their money. If Robert had said to Commerce West Bank, here's your notification, we're doing an Article 9 sale, we're doing a transfer of assets, the bank would have said, no, you're not. Because we're owed $6 million. So you might be running it, but this sale must be for enough money that the Small Business Administration gets paid back and we get paid back. So, as the more senior creditor, you have every right to foreclose before us, but you don't have the right to insider foreclose where Robert Dawson, chairman of the board of Intrepid Studios, agrees to take a dollar amount that doesn't pay the three senior creditors so that Robert Dawson can move the IP out the back door to his new company. The best part about all of this is Robert Dawson can't move Ashes of Creation back to TFE because he already incurred transfer of liability. Because Robert moved the IP out of Intrepid Studios on January 16th or 19th. I don't have the notes in front of me. But he allowed the employees to contribute about 14,000 man hours. TFE Game Holdings benefited from Intrepid Studios employees, meaning you became the new employer. Meaning you owe $11.3 million in war money and war monies and severances. Robert fucked up bad. Now what's going to happen is if the class action lawsuit attorney is smart, they're going to get an injunction against the transfer of the MMO unless the sale is for enough money to cover the Small Business Administration, Commerce West Bank, the state of California, and the employees. Well, that means Robert, if he wants to acquire it to his new company, he's going to have to pay about another $20 million for Ashes of Creation. Where we have a really big problem in content creation is somehow my background in business, my background in marketing, my background in law is only worth 19 points because I only have 19 viewers. But some content creator who's never worked in the corporate world, never handled mergers and foreclosures and acquisitions, has no background in law, because they have 40,000 viewers, their opinion is seen as right. The problem with being the educator type content creator is I gotta spend an awful lot of time telling people they're wrong. And people don't like being told they're wrong. People like being able to jump up and down on a bandwagon because it makes them feel part of something. He loses actual all money, but also fucked up project, and I'm 100% sure Steven's gonna win in court, like investing money in crypto. Yeah, Steven keeps talking, like Steven keeps flexing. Steven's like, once again, another great day in the courts and justice. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You had a TRO not get, removed. That's not a fucking win. That's a judge saying all a TRO is pause, stop, slow down. I don't want more things to happen that I have to reverse. So no, I'm going to allow the TRO to stay in place. Now that Robert Dawson has reversed the Article 9 foreclosure, he ends up in a stronger position because the courts really do prefer it when you say, I made a mistake, I'm gonna clean up my own mistake. The courts are like, good, appreciate the follows. When you clean up your own mistake, the court really likes that. They really, really do. And Robert Dawson has got to have sat down with an attorney and realized, fuck. Somehow that asshole Jalan has our internal documents. Somehow that asshole Jalan knows that I had a conversation with the lawyer. Somehow that asshole Jalan knows that I had every intention of fucking over the employees. Number one, how the fuck does he have these documents? Number two, he's already admitted he sent them to the proper authorities. So fuck, my ass is on the line for criminal shit. Let me just undo it and fix it. Because that's the smart play. It is way better to fix it on your own and be like, yeah, I consulted a lawyer and I thought I was doing it the right way, but since now I've been told I didn't, let's just undo it and do it the right way. That's a lot fucking better than, you know, being told by the court, you're a fuck up and now you owe us $11 million in penalty. Yeah, anything that makes less work for the court is favorable of. But no, there's still Steven Sharif sycophants out there that think that Steven believes at the end of this court case, he's getting the product back. Steven, Intrepid Studios gets the product back, but you only own 4.4% of the product, of the shares, and you quit. Had Steven been smart and not quit, he would have been able to, as individual, say, you owe me 60 days of payroll because I'm entitled to payroll because you've allowed me to be the CEO and you're paying me $300,000 a year. You're paying John $300,000 a year to be the CFO. So you owe us more notice. That would have been like salt in the wound for Robert Dawson to be told, shit, man, I'm taking away this guy's company and I have to pay him for 60 days. Then Steven could have joined in on the class action lawsuit. But Steven has no fucking idea what he's doing. These recent financials that have been released, Steven was leasing a car through the company. Motherfucker, you had a chef in a car. You can't do that. Steven, you're a fucking scumbag. You're doing scumbag business shit. If you guys didn't know this, while Intrepid was bleeding money left, right, and center, Steven's car was being paid for. Next, that is probably one of the best ways I've seen it described. People think Steven is playing 4D chess, when in reality, he's just a pigeon shitting on a checkers board. Yeah. That's about accurate. Steven thinks he's fucking winning. Dude, winning a TRO hearing is something that a first-year lawyer at a law firm can do. Come back to me when you have a major win that undoes the master service agreement and you somehow have controlling interest of the company back. Because Robert Dawson will simply say to the court, I own 60% of Intrepid Studios. I would like a TRO getting rid of Steven's ability to bother me. I would like a restraining order against him. And here's what people don't understand. If you own stock in a company and there's no dividend and there's no mandatory dividend through a shareholder agreement, that company doesn't owe you shit. For years, I owned Disney stock and they weren't paying a dividend. Bob Iger doesn't owe me anything. Now Josh D'Amaro doesn't owe me anything. There's no mandatory dividend. Now, if when I bought the stock, I entered into a shareholder agreement with Disney to say I was loaded. Hey, I appreciate that. Say I was loaded. Say I was Elon Musk loaded and Disney was struggling. And I said to Disney, I'll buy a 10% stake in your company, but the shareholder agreement now says you must issue a dividend every year. Well, now they have to issue a dividend every year because their shareholder agreement says they would, and I bought $7 billion worth of their company. If Steven, and I doubt the shareholder agreement has shit on it, because, appreciate the Prime sub. Because Steven, I have an email where Steven sent, where he literally sent a lawyer a bullshit capitalization table, and he laughed about it. And what he said is, oh, here's the capitalization table. I guess we didn't have one. Do I know when they're going to release Once Human on console? It is in beta testing on console right now, actually. Because I don't play games on console, I don't have the details, but on the launcher, it says the beta test is in progress. And I know that it should be coming soon because the patch that they just did on Thursday, the patch was designed to be the pre-launch. You weren't able to get an invite code? Yeah, that sucks. It should be here in a couple of weeks. It shouldn't be long. They're just doing the final test. Yeah, Rail will check. I think it's the April 22nd patch that will bring the console online. And I think Rail, what they might have done is some of the stuff that was supposed to be in the patch, I think is being tested. I think they pushed it. I wish they would have made the beta open for everyone. Here's the problem with making a beta open for everyone. A good majority of people that will join beta tests, if they're open, completely open, they give really shitty feedback. And then, what do you do when you get 100,000 pieces of feedback and they pull you in 6 different directions? Then you don't know. Then you don't know the first fucking thing in the world to fix or adjust or iterate on. I didn't do any damage to him. I didn't realize the next one had spawned. It's like when this game was in this game was in beta. You had to get a code to it. The problem was lots of people were giving really shitty feedback. And then those people that gave really shitty feedback, what pisses me off about them is they didn't end up playing the game. And I had seen that once before with a person in the Ashes of Creation community. We were talking about New World one day. And what this person said was, oh yeah, I was in the New World open alpha. And I said, okay. They said, yeah, I gave a bunch of feedback that said they needed to turn the game into more an MMORPG as opposed to an open world fort builder survival game. I said, okay. And then what they said is, but it didn't really matter because I was never going to play the game. If you were never going to play the fucking game, why are you giving feedback? Like, honest to God, why are you giving feedback on a game that you have zero intention of ever playing? That's douchebag behavior. Imagine an MMO comes out with the game not being completely figured out on release. That would be so nice. Well, unfortunately, I agree with you. But that's not how the world works anymore. And the world doesn't work that way anymore. Because content creators are the new marketing. And players are lazy. They want a guide for everything. That's why I think people are against procedural generation. People are against procedural generation because they know if they support procedural generation, there won't be a guide for everything. How am I liking the new overhauls? Some of the new overhauls are great. I think the new blueprint system is great. I know a lot of people aren't happy about the new blueprint system, but I think the new blueprint system is great because it allows people to not have to get frustrated. But as I said at the beginning of the show, what they did was they changed the build so that you no longer have to muck around with getting blueprints. You just increase things with straight Star Crown, which is cool. But then you keep us with a cap on Star Crown. So people are capped on how much Star Crown they can get. But there's no reason for them to be capped. A lot of the older players are upset because the newer players won't have to go through the same ass pain. And I don't like that mentality. Just because I had to walk to school uphill both ways in the snow doesn't mean I want my kids to have to walk uphill both ways in the snow. Know what I'm saying? And I did have to walk uphill both ways to school because I lived at the bottom of a hill. The school was halfway up the hill, and where I had to go after school was at the top of the hill. I did have to walk uphill both ways. But that doesn't mean I want my kids to have to do it. And that doesn't mean just because there were shitty MMOs in the past that we had to deal with, doesn't mean I want future gamers to have to deal with that shit. I want games to improve. Right? And I think we have another problem. We have, people have nostalgia, but nostalgia isn't good. Yeah, it did. Well, it did change. It did change because the big thing is, even if you had a bunch of StarCrom, you couldn't effectively get the blueprints that you wanted because of the wish machine. Well, now you can, if you have like my alt has 500,000 StarCrom. Well, I can max out 3 or 4 weapons and 9 or 10 pieces of armor. Some people are complaining, they're like, well, I can't get all the weapons. Well, that's what you have blueprint transfers for, or blueprint conversions. The wheel kind of ruined things as far as retaining people. playing for a full season, to be fair, so I'm glad it's gone. Just haven't come back to try it out. The one thing I like is that the changes mean base defense is valuable again. I won't know how valuable until we get into next month and we see how hard it is to accumulate Star Crown. But having a cap on progress is good in competitive PvP games. Having a cap on progress is bad in games like we've been on this server. We haven't moved to a new season in approaching a year now. We've been on this server for the better part of a year, because we did the first gravity visional wheel on this server and we haven't moved since. That doesn't make your game good. Braille will make the joke. He's in Twitch chat. He'll make the joke, shit, Jay must not have liked the patch, because I saw him playing Crusader Kings last night. And everybody knows when I start a Crusader Kings campaign, my campaign I can play CK3. Yes, I'm a pause and a one speed, you know, Andy. Leave me alone. I play the Dynasty game. I gotta conquer new places to increase my diplomacy pool so that I can find the right wife for my son. But I opened 100 mod boxes yesterday and got one upgrade. I hate the new mod system. The new mod system is fucking dog water. It gets you to a higher level of power faster. But when you're already at almost perfect mods, and now, number one, we lost a lot of freedom to make the mods we want. And I'll show you that. This is my big problem. It seems like they encourage more playtime with the new system, but like you say, we'll have to give it we'll have to give it a bit to see how it works out. But this is what they did with the mod system. So you have your classic mods and you have your new mods. I do play Eternal Tombs. I tested Eternal Tombs on Thursday, and I'm going to be switching over to Eternal Tombs here in a couple of minutes to show that off. I just needed to do my weekly silos. So here is your weapon mods, and I'll go over to Bullseye. And this right here is what we affectionately called a perfect mod. This is a 17-point mod. Now, if you look at this mod, I have 3 golds and a green. So I have weak spot damage 9, damage against Great One 6, weapon damage 6, and then I have a completely kind of fuck you irrelevant stat of weapon damage reduction. Why do you always every day keyboard, every day? Okay, fuck you, keyboard. If you don't wanna help me, I'll do it myself. So we grab this and we pull this over here real quick, just so that we can have it on the screen. So this is my old mod. Wow, that doesn't do shit, does it? That still doesn't do shit. Sometimes. Nope. Are you, all of you, going to just fight with me today? Alright. So, this is a perfect mod in the old system. And then this is going to be a perfect mod in the new system. And when I say a perfect mod, this is a legitimate perfect mod. It's a shiny. So vulnerability amplifier precision. Weak spot damage 9, weapon damage 6, mag cap of 12, and then increases damage dealt to all by 3%. So in your new system, until I get a flash precision, which means getting a level 17 after I already have a level 17, the best mod in your old system is 3% less damage, or the best mod in your new system is 3% less damage. Even with the new system, I have the hardest mod to acquire. And overall, it was 2% more damage. You have to get 2 17s to get a shiny. And there is nothing you can do to speed this process along because of how they decided they were going to do this. For the most part, you have to get 6,000 dust to buy 1 crate. 5,000 to buy armor, 5,000 to buy these weapons, 6,000 to buy the mod selection crates. It takes 100 runs of Forsaken Giant to get 6,000 dust. Yeah, is the main loop for this game just grinding for updates? Yeah. The problem becomes you didn't create tiny upgrades. You didn't create slow and steady wins the race. You still have this ridiculous feature. Like, I've done hundreds of those events, and I still don't have a 5/5 of any of the aberrant progeny. Right? None. To date, every one of my combat deviations has been made or acquired by Rail for me. I have never, like, he made me a 5/4 Chaos Mr. Wish. And he brought it from, he brought it from SCP. We've both gone to SCP and we've tried to get deviations that have Crack Shot or Psychic Kid. Our luck sucks. But there are people who are selling Crack Shots, and I've messaged them. I said, how are you getting so many how are you getting so much fodder that you can, every day I see you selling a different configuration? And they're like, oh, I get like 9 or 10 a day on SCP. Well, how demoralizing is it when you go to SCP, you're there for weeks, and you can't find a single Crack Shot, but you got a guy over there saying, yeah, I get 9 or 10 a day. I used to hate to come up with new weapon calibrations for my unstable bomber build was the hardest part, so I switched to Boom Boom mostly. Yeah, and what do they do to Boom Boom? They keep changing rule sets, and they're like, oh, well, we need to balance this. Cool. Balance it. But while they're in the process of balancing the Boom Boom, they release the P90. Like, for me, and a lot of game developers, I love the fact that I've met a lot of game developers at companies, and they like this. There's nothing wrong with RNG. Hi. What's wrong? What? I don't have anything. I don't have anything. Why are you crying? Hold on. There's nothing. Yeah, 44 rounds from grilled rings does more damage than 132 rounds from Boom Boom. Shouldn't work that way. But there's nothing wrong with RNG. Like, for example, here's my RNG box. I have an RNG box. I like candles. So here's my RNG box. There's nothing wrong with RNG where I take a candle out and I unwrap it and I say, well, shit, it's vanilla bean. What I really wanted was salted caramel, but it's vanilla bean. But that's okay. Because somebody would say, well, how much are these candles normally? Oh, they're normally 15 bucks. How much did you pay for it in the blind bag? $3. Okay, well, you got a $15 candle for $3 on RNG. You didn't get to pick. It's like the blind bag theory. But as long as you provide a way for me to go in and buy what I want for 15 bucks, then we're both happy. You like a bunch of Beth or Yankee Candle flavors, or the Woodwick candles. You love all their flavors. You love all but 3. You understand that by constantly buying the blind bags, you might occasionally get a cranberry that you don't like. But you also recognize and realize most of the times you're going to get a $15 candle for $3 and you're going to be okay with it. You can make both sets of people happy. If you want RNG so people can be pleasantly surprised, cool. And that's what we kind of sort of had in the old system. What the hell? Why is that guy taking no damage? Like, he's getting hit. There he goes. All these are bugged again. It's fucking terrible. Yeah, he skipped the phase. What's he doing? But as long as you give people the chance to earn what they want, like what I said was, during these events, just drop a token. Just drop a token, and then have a shop that says, for 1,000 tokens, you can get a 5/5. But we're still gonna have 5/5s available through RNG drops. We're just gonna have a pity compensation path. Be like, dude, your RNG sucks. Unstable Bomber used to be an amazing build and route damage most everything built right, but they nerfed the crap out of it. Well, they nerfed the crap out of it, and here's the problem with trying to have a game that's both PvP and PvE. Unstable Bomber was bullshit because I could keep shooting you when you were down and keep stacking on you so that the moment you were rezzing, I could just keep shooting you, and the moment your res was up, I'd hit you again, explode on you, and you'd die. Guess what? They patched that with Unstable Bomber. And the same exact flaw was put in for the P90. I can stack hits on the P90. I can just, once you're down, I can just keep shooting you, getting one stack, one stack, one stack, one stack, one stack, and then you stand up and now you're dead. Ooh, look at that sexy bitch. I think I like the one next to her though. Is that like, are those pigtails? I can't turn you around. Even though she's like way sexier, something about a redhead with pigtails just does it for Jay. Yeah, they did it with Depresso Rex. They did the same thing. They're like, oh, what we're gonna do is we're going to, oh, we created this really cool deviation, but you can only get him in the Primeverse Clash. Oh wait, oh not Prime, yeah, Primeverse Clash. Oh wait, Primeverse Clash really sucks, nobody likes it. So now we're gonna give you the ability to get him. Where the fuck is he now? Okay. Oh, he's over here. So we're gonna give you the ability to try to get Berserkosaurus Rex. After 9 openings, you are guaranteed to receive a Berserkosaurus Rex or a Radiant one with level 5/5. Guaranteed items will not repeat. Okay, so if these boxes are going to be 5,000, and I've already opened quite a few of them, each time I open one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What they should have done is they should have, and again, this is just, you need somebody else to look at the process and say, hold on, I've got a better idea. Instead of a Prism Deviation crate, where after 9 openings, you're guaranteed to receive a Berserkosaurus Rex, but you have both in there, we're gonna make a Berserkosaurus Rex Prism Deviation crate. We're gonna make a Radiant one Prism Deviation crate. And then, after 9 openings, you're guaranteed to get a 5/5, because each time you open it, you can't repeat. So you got the 3/5. X, you can't get him again. As long as you do the RNG odds equally, some people will get the 5/5 on the first draw. Some will get it on the second draw. Some will get it on the third draw. And yes, some will need the pity mechanic, and they'll get it on the 9th draw. But that's a lot better than knowing if I want a 5/5, I have to do this potentially 18 times. 18 times at 5,000 Mitsuku marks? Okay, now 18 times, or I can just breed myself a 5/5 with Power Rewind 2. Okay, game designers. According to Trump, we've won the war, and this isn't a war, and he needs help to win it, and yet he doesn't need help with it, all because they were going to nuke us with nukes that he totally obliterated 3 months ago. All right. I don't want to go into politics today, but I'm going to use politics as a segue as I switch from Once Human to Eternal Tombs. Here's the fucking punchline. It's not a war because the President of the United States can't start a war. But the President of the United States has started a war, which is exactly why the War Powers Act requires that the President be able to withdraw troops after 60 days. With all of that said, I hate living in America right now because I hate the fact that we've blown $500 billion and we have billions of dollars worth of damage to an aircraft carrier. We've lost 4 F-15s, a KC-135, 13 American lives, 850 Tomahawks, and yet I know a mom who doesn't know how she's gonna feed her kids this weekend. I know a mom who doesn't know how they're gonna stay in their home because her VA money got fucked. I know a veteran who literally is drowning in 3 debts because their hours got cut at work and they had to take loans. All those people pay taxes, and yet what we have going on is very, very quickly almost $1 trillion burned in the Middle East in a 4-week bullshit war because Donald Trump's hubris was that he was going to be able to win this war in 24 hours. The very fact that the Iranians have the audacity to fight back is, you know, I don't want to live in this world anymore. I will tell you what server I'm on as soon as I figure it out. I'm gonna jump up and I'm gonna take a real quick break while I'm waiting for the patch to install. I'll be back in a minute. This is a good time for you to stretch your legs, get a coffee, get a Coke, get a snack, open a window, get some fresh air. Alt-tab to that black and yellow site some of you alt-tab to. Do whatever. I'll be right back. All right. Almost done. I will say I am glad that Josh and company have been able to get this game up and running. Yesterday or Thursday I played through, and here's the Steam page for Eternal Tombs. I know that what you're probably going to experience is a lot of bugs. I had the advantage of being able to log on, and I pretty much had a server to myself on Thursday. And I know Josh has encountered Murphy's Law. He opened up the game for open testing, and then there was a lot of flaws. Still waiting for me to play Hearts of Iron 4 is the US. Hearts of Iron 4 is the US. Karthos is the bigger Hearts of Iron player than I am. I'm a CK3 player. I'm a Stellaris player. I am on US West because US West was what was available the day that I made my character. Where I have a lot of respect for Josh is that he is taking things directly in stride. He doesn't have a bunch of excuses. He's like, yeah, we have more people online, and it is causing server lag. This is only harvested by someone else. Okay, again, this right here. This is a So this thing is the thing I have to collect to increase my magic. I should not see other people's if I can't harvest it, I shouldn't see it. You know what I'm saying? It's what I said the other day about corpses and skinning. Because these 3 pools are here, and I collect mine. There's my monster blood, but these other monster blood pools are here. That means the controller is having to constantly update all the other players that monster blood is there. And there is a quality of life aspect to it, and then there is a overall efficiency aspect to it. Is it really necessary for the monster blood to be harvestable? Is there a value? Is there a value to it? Because if there's no value to me having to harvest it, then why don't we just have the, like, I get my experience automatically. I don't have to pick up something to get my experience. So why not make my monster blood automatically drop to me? Why are you making me loot it? Yeah, I know. Yeah, there absolutely are. But what I'm saying is, I need monster blood to level my skills. But why does it have to be a lootable thing? Why can't it just automatically go to my character? If we're trying to have something immersion, the monster blood drops seem to be random for mobs. Yeah, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. So. Do you have to uninstall and reinstall the update? If you have that old version, you might have to uninstall and reinstall. I wouldn't know. I didn't have the old Eternal Tombs client on it because my PC had gone back to Origin to get rebuilt. Okay, so minor aid, Torch of Light. Where is Torch of Light on this wonderful? A swift and vicious attack to ensure mobs nearest to you will be in dire pain with this DD attack. You shouldn't have to uninstall to reinstall. There should be an update button. If it didn't catch the update properly, you might have to uninstall and reinstall. That might be something that you might want to let them know about. Hold on, as I say that. That might be something you want to let them know about, as I have no earthly idea where to let them know about it. Oh, they have a testing bugs and report feedback section. So. You think that after the first time I did it, I wouldn't do it a second time. But yeah, they have a feedback channel on their Discord. I needed to put that typo in it, otherwise I would forget. All right, so Minor Aid, that's a heal ability. That's a self-heal ability. Bring forth prayers and offerings to raise up your companion from death. So this is the Sawbones category. I kind of like that. A tabletop game. I like Eternal Tombs. I like the idea. I like the progress they're making. They're making a lot of good progress. So you have your Bone Stitcher as a healer. It can also be a damage dealer. Granules pulled from rotting corpse provides a deadly disease to those who are injected. Stand near an enemy and deliver this 10-second disease dot. Makes your enemies flee with terror. Lay down a set of rotting flesh to bring forth diseases to your enemy. So I kind of like, I remember Bone Stitcher from the last time I played, and I kind of really like the idea of where this is coming from. This is necromancy healer. And remember, every necromancer is a healer with really bad timing. Harvest parts from an enemy corpse. I gotta be level 5 to get to that. Yeah, we're gonna get to there. We are going to work on getting to a lock button. Does this game have some sort of a main story quest? It does. Okay, we've got the same bug again. This bug is rather annoying. Sometimes when you do something in a menu, like buy a new ability, then escape doesn't close it. But yeah, there's a little bit of a main story quest. I wasn't able to get very far in it on Thursday. But now that I'm playing another character, I'll have to redo the pieces that I did do.
Are you alright? Come here quickly. Be still and be very quiet. We must be careful.
All right. So we've got to find a baby Viking. Okay, so today it only took 3 kills to get a baby Viking. Do you rush your main character to hit max level for guild purpose and then do an alt for the story? That is a great question. As a guild leader, I usually do. Because as a guild leader, I'm on US West.
Did you get the baby vi? Well, my friend, you looked alright. You're not gonna kill any full-size Vikes anytime soon.
As a guild leader, I usually try to race
also, I don't want
as quickly as I can to having
his magic is far too dark and powerful.
A character that's max level. But that's because most games have this really bad problem of the real game doesn't begin at max level, or you have to be level 25 to form a guild, or whatever the other fuck bullshit that this game has going on. Well, I think that's garbage. I think that if I had the ability to run a team building a game, I would make sure that it takes 2 years or more to reach max level. And I'm not talking about every 6 months increasing the max level. I'm talking about like tabletop. You don't have to fix progression with artificial, you can't earn any more XP walls. You can fix progression by saying, okay, I'm happy that the 4 of you are level 7. You're going into a level 10 dungeon. And it's the next thing. Because you have to have an awful lot of horizontal progression. If you want to make sure players aren't just diving down the vertical progression to max level, then you have to give them other things to work on. Unfortunately, many people that play games, they say, I don't want to do any of the other shit. I just want to get to endgame. It's because they want to get to endgame because they're used to WoW, Final Fantasy XIV. Look at EVE Online. EVE Online, its endgame is getting out to 0-0 space and becoming part of an alliance and doing wormholes and doing citadels and being in a corporation. You can be a 1 million skill point pilot out of the box and be a member of it endgame alliance. You can't do much, but you can contribute. Our problem is our games anymore don't factor in fun. We're forgetting to factor fun into the games. We're forgetting that gone are the old days of people playing MMOs by choice for 60 hours a week. Now people have multiple forms of entertainment. So you're not going to get people. Yeah, nullsec always needs meat shields. Gone are the days where people are going to be in your game all the time. So you need to figure out a way to make your game good.
Brunhilde, my wife, is planning a legendary hog roast for the whole town.
And I know that sounds like
shaped problem. A pack of feral hogs
simple,
terrorizing the nearby fields, eating up crops and causing a general nuisance.
But it is ultimately what it is.
Go down and talk to her at my house, and she'll give you further instructions.
I think you could have, if you, I don't think level 15, like tabletop for most games would be a good level. But I honestly think we don't have to have games. Like, you make a game have level 30 as its max level. If you made it take 2 years to get to level 30, and this is where I want to, like, I hope you can hear the humor in my voice when I say this, because I would never wish physical violence on anybody. Break. Steven Sharif really deserves a kick right in the nuts. Because he had the fucking perfect outline of a game. I'm not going to put artificial throttles in the way of you leveling. I'm going to put player agency throttles in the way of you leveling. Meaning, if you don't have you have a level 2 settlement. You have in that settlement level 0 to level 20 content. You have a level 3 settlement. You have from 0 to 30 content. If nobody is working together to push nodes higher level, then level 40 content isn't available. Well, if that's the case, then it's going to slow down leveling. You're right, it is. Because there's not enough enemies of any that's fucking hilarious. There's not enough enemies of any significant challenge. Like, I know a lot of people that are tabletop players love the game Dungeons and Dragons. whichever version of D&D you love. But I have always found that other game systems explained leveling a whole lot better than the D&D books did. For example, the Vampire the Masquerade book, what it says is, as your characters get more powerful, threats that used to give a lot of experience now give a little experience or no experience at all. When you were a neonate, a young vampire, and you fought, you know, an Ancilla, that was a big deal for you. 4 of you got together and took down an Ancilla, so that was worth a lot of XP. But when the 4 people in the gaming group become Ancilla, and they go beat up one neonate, at the end of the day, all they do all day is wander around and beat the shit out of neonates. And they're like, oh, how much XP did we get? None. Well, why none? Because where was the growth? Where was the development? Where was the challenge? Where was the risk? If you don't have those things, you didn't get any experience. Oh, I sat in the math classroom today and I did math problems for 8 hours. Did my math skill go up? No, because you did the kindergarten flashcards. You did single-digit addition and single-digit subtraction. Yeah, you spent 9 hours doing it, but you didn't spend any time doing something that was motivational for growth. Meanwhile, I'll pick on Fei Lin. Fei Lin's character solves one problem. And I'm like, yeah, here's 75 XP. Well, why did he get 75 XP? He only solved one problem. Because he solved a calculus problem above his current skill level. So he had positive growth. That's why I like MMOs that turn around and at a point say, you get 0 XP for killing this. There should be no XP at all given. Once you're like 2 or 3 levels over the mob, you shouldn't get any XP for killing the mob. It shouldn't be worth any experience to you, because where was the growth? And the answer is, there was no growth. Look at this poser saying single-digit subtraction isn't hard. Yeah, Faye, you're saying a bunch of math words, and I'm reading blah, blah, blah. Fuck, I don't give a shit about. I don't give a shit about math. I give a shit about accounting. The only accounting I give a shit about is counting these stacks. The only time I care about numbers is when they're coming out of my bank account. Yeah, it's not exactly middle school. Exactly. But at the same time, you shouldn't have a kindergartner in the calculus classroom. I roll the dice as the GM behind the screen. You might hear the sound of the dice rolling. But that doesn't mean that every scenario is even possible. Another reason why I like the White Wolf system for storytelling. I don't like game systems where a 6-year-old has a 2% chance of success on a calculus problem, and they happen to roll it, and they rolled a nat 20. So a 6-year-old who can't even do multiplication solves a calculus problem because of the fucking magic of dice. No. The difficulty roll on this is 25, and you need 10 successes. At that point, if that player... Yeah, but you have 2-year-olds with 40 prowess in CK3, another thing I don't like. But... yeah, sure, you rolled a 20, and then you need to roll a 5 or better after that. And then you gotta do that 9 more times for that 6-year-old to solve that calculus problem. Now, if a player made a character and they made an idiot savant, I would have no problem if somebody made a 6-year-old player, a 6-year-old character with 5 dots in mathematics, and they gave themselves all the right stats and traits, and I'd be like, cool, you're Rain Man. You're socially awkward, you're socially inept, you don't have many other skills, but you can fucking do math like nobody's business. It's like that movie, The Cube. You've got the people in there and they're, all the doors have like 6-digit numbers, and they say them out loud, and they keep going through, and they keep running into traps. And then the guy who's playing the idiot savant is like numbers prime. I think a big problem for players with elaborate mid-game systems is they will always go, yeah, but this weapon I get is temporary because it isn't max level. You're right. And that's why I like the Rift system. I like Rifts, the tabletop, not the MMO. Not Rift, the MMO. I like Rifts, the tabletop. You have a gun. At level 1, that gun is what that gun is. You're going to use that gun at level 1. You're going to use that gun at level 5. You're going to use that gun at level 12. You're going to use that gun at level 15. Why? Because a gun doesn't do more damage because I level up. A 9mm pistol does 2d6 damage, no matter who's wielding it, because that is the damage it does to the human body. Now, if you crit with it, it does double damage. Critting with it becomes your ability to hit him in the heart, hit him in the head, hit him in the eye. I think that we have too many games that have gearing loops that are just dog water. We don't need crazy ass gearing loops. We need better development. Final Fantasy XIV, if you played it at launch, you know what I'm talking about. Every person and their brother is giving you a new piece of gear because you're leveling so fast. You can be level 25 in Final Fantasy in about 2 hours. If you've already played through it once before and you don't give a shit, you know all the side quests, you know all the stories, you don't give a shit about the lore, you hit escape on every cutscene, you can be level 25 in about 2 hours. And you will have like 16 pairs of boots. And I'm not joking. You will look at your inventory and you will be like, damn, I have 41 weapons, 16 pairs of boots, 13 pairs of pants, and you're like, why? Why am I getting new gear at level 1, level 3, level 5, level 7, level 9, level 11? See, what I like what Josh has done with Eternal Tombs is I'm here and I'm trying to get my 5 pieces of rat meat. And again, this is like flavor. I'm not a big fan of rats dropping pants. Rats dropping shoes, knives. I don't like that. What I prefer, right? And I understand it's a longer gameplay loop. I get it. I understand. It's a little bit more work for the developer, and I get it. I understand. But instead of those mobs dropping the pants or the shoes, they drop teeth. And then the way I would do it is right over here, Vesper, my guy right here, there would be a guy standing right here. And then when you've done Vesper's introductory quest, Vesper says, hey, by the way, Jalan at the front of the wagon had a daughter who got killed by a rat. And now he spends his time outfitting new adventurers with gear if they bring him rat teeth, because as far as he's concerned, he wants every rat on the planet killed. Yes, I have to build a new NPC. I have to have the exchange rate, blah, 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 blah. But it makes a hell of a lot more sense that there's an NPC giving me boots and pants for rat teeth than it is that the rat, what? Had a pair of boots in its stomach? And I get it, because it's one of those fuzzy areas when you get to, when you try to convert tabletop RPG into an MMO. Well, in a tabletop RPG, I'm everybody. I'm the GM. I'm every NPC, unless I bring in Harlequins. But I'm every NPC. I'm the world. I'm gravity. I'm God. I'm the devil. I'm the sun. I'm the moon. I'm gravity. If I don't want the mobs to drop trash. But it makes sense when I kill a person that there might be some lootable stuff. Rain Death, a 2-master event has begun. Cool.
You have the rat meat, do you? Wonderful. Now you can gather some food and give yourself some strength. Collect some more rat meat. Head down the hill a bit and you'll see how the monsters looking.
Oh yes, I have to go to the other side of the world. The game stutters for me too. So I will say this game is not being picked up by my capture card very well. It's a little bit smoother today. Not much. There's not a lot of differential between my capture card and the game. There's a little bit. I am gonna, after today's show, I'm going to spend some more time trying to figure out why my capture card is being an annoyance. But there is a little bit of stutter in the game, and I'm playing on a 4080. And what I will say is, and I'm not making an excuse for Josh, but Josh needs data now. They've done a lot of building since the last time I tested. They've iterated a lot. The game is a lot smoother. Combat feels a lot better. And now Josh needs this weekend's testing data to do server end work, because this isn't Intrepid Studios. This isn't a bullshit company that's stealing your money and doesn't know what they're doing. Josh knows what he wants to build. Josh is very receptive to feedback, but he's not building the game by committee. The combat is way smooth, in my opinion. The combat's way smoother than Ashes of Creations. The character development loop is way better. I thought Ashes was always silly as shit because you start off and you have one ability at level 1, and it's not like buttery smooth. I will say Josh does have a little bit of work to do before the game is launch ready next year. Part of what he has to do is smooth out some words, some terms, some ideas. Like most people are gonna see, I'm sorry, my big fat head's in the way. Most people are gonna see that red and that blue bar and they're gonna think health and mana. But we don't have mana because we have abilities, not magic. We have magic items, but we can't channel mana. We can't channel magic from inside of us. I like it. It's unique. It justifies why you're going to have the magical abilities on your weapon. But, and he does a really good job.
Keep moving, nothing to see here.
About 3 more quests in, the primary storyteller is going to give you that. He's going to explain it, which is great. I just think that in the game description,
Dahmer-proofed goods for
they're
sale.
going to have to smooth that out a bit so people understand at the very beginning what they're playing. But again, they're a very, very, very small team, and they've managed to build a better game than Ash has built, in my opinion. The world feels more immersive. Stuff makes better sense. Now, yeah, I will say, in some regards, the engineering team at Intrepid was better. But they also burned through $120 million. So I would hope so. Like, right here, just to be snarky, right? Tradeport. I can live with this. Because I know they don't have an art department. I can live with this. But why the hell is Tradeport on the back of the sign? I think I know where I'm coming out of. But again, are you a team of 210 developers that has burned through $180 million or $120 million? Or are you a team of a handful of developers? Okay, you're a handful of developers. Then I'm going to give you a lot of leeway. Like, maybe. Like, if you look at this world right now, not talking style, not talking substance, but talking immersion. As I look out, I feel like I'm walking into a forest. I feel like I'm walking into the woods outside of a town. I feel like these woods are lived in. That's why there's paths. That's why there's trees cut, because they will have knocked down trees to build houses, right? In Ashes, I never felt like I was in a living world. I felt like the people who designed the environment in Ashes had never set foot in a forest before. Like, why didn't you knock down that big-ass tree before you built your town? Because that big-ass tree blocks the wind for that big-ass house. Well, why'd you build your house behind the big-ass tree? What if it falls over? Look, we're villagers. We're not architects. My character looks like he's on several federal lists. So does that character right there. Look at that guy. This guy looks like he's on the registry. That's just Hugo. He's nice. You do not have enough money for this. Okay, now what I'm going to say here, some people are going to be frustrated by that. I think it is amazing to play an MMO where Josh has methodically thought out, or maybe it wasn't Josh, I'm going to say it's Josh, has methodically thought out, I don't want to put a bunch of kill quests, but I want you to make a kebab. And in order to make the kebab, you have to have currency to buy the recipe, the seditious, and the onions. In order to get that, you have to kill mobs. Or you, if you knew better, you could have bought gathering tools and run around the world gathering. I think that is a more intuitive and natural progression gate than getting a bullshit quest, go kill 50 more. Also need a quick time event for cutting the onion. No, crafting minigames suck. Crafting minigames are fucking terrible. They should never exist. Anybody who likes crafting minigames, you should just go to your kitchen and you should chop an onion. Crafting minigames are terrible. If somebody gives me a good example of a game that has a good a crafting minigame, I'll look at it. Somebody once told me War Tales has a great crafting minigame. Really? I'm clicking a mouse button when something lights up. That's not an engaging minigame. I have an entire video on my YouTube channel about how you can build a meaningful crafting system without bullshit minigames. Yeah, if you need a minigame inside of your game, go the fuck outside. Go touch some grass. Like Final Fantasy, even Yoshi P admits they spent all this time. They spent all this time building their crafting minigame, and then they realized nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. Why? Because nobody likes getting screwed by RNG, and that's what the Final Fantasy minigame is. It's getting screwed by RNG. If if on your last production hit, you're on a bad status, you fail. But there was nothing you could do. If there was something you could do to make sure you're not going to be on a bad status hit. So then what did they do? They specifically designed it so that poor statuses don't randomly pop up. They only pop up after excellent status. Great, guys. That's awesome. But if I still need 2 hits, now you've absolutely positively forced me to have a poor status on my last hit. Now I can't complete the item. Okay. So then you get to the point where people write macros so they never fail and they almost always high Q the item. If you can bypass the minigame by running a macro, you have a shitty minigame. I like the idea of minigames outside of crafting. Like a fair or something in a city where you can do horse racing. Yes! 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 Let's take that back a step. Let's just work with the horse racing thing. So you have horse racing, that's player versus player. But you create a whole subsection of breeding horses, capturing horses, raising horses that ties into gardening because you need certain things to feed the horses. Right? You've now created a development silo for gardening, cooking, animal husbandry, animal capturing, and horse training. That's awesome. That's amazing. Because what you do is you create an avenue of, I really love the horse race. Yeah, exactly. Blacksmithing for the horseshoes, leatherworking for the saddle and the brindle, alchemy for the recovery powder or recovery potion for the horses, right? Alchemy for the paint that you put on the horse. Steroids, yeah. Carpentry, building the corral. You might have been funny when you said that, but what you just said generates one activity has just touched your whole artisan system. And if you think about it, what you've done is you've created content. You have a guy in your guild who really loves horse racing, but he works a 40-hour week. He's a volunteer coach, and he has kids, so he doesn't have time to do the horse. So you, who are like me and you're retired and you're at home all day, you decide to breed him a horse. And then you say to him one day when he logs in, he's like, hey man, I got good news for you. What's the good news? Oh, I have a horse for you because you really like doing the horse racing, but you don't have time, so I bred you a horse. All I'm gonna ask is, over time, I don't need the money right now, but over time, can you give me about 250,000 gold from your winnings? And again, you don't have to give it to me all right now, but boom. Yeah, cloth to make the banners on the saddle blanket, or the horse blanket, leatherworking to make the barding, or now you've taken it in another direction. If we're going to take the time to have animal husbandry and horse breeding and horse racing, do we dare have mounted combat? Because if we have mounted combat, we aren't creating more touch points We're just creating things inside of the touch points. So now we have leather working for racing and armor smithing for combat armor. Now we create a lot of touch points, and that's all horizontal progression. First part wasn't even meant to be funny. Anybody knows GTA 5, but races in the online mode become a fully sustained scene. Like more than 100,000 players. I knew players that never touched other online features. They just like racing more than dedicated racing games. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But again, you take that idea, and these are just called brainstorming meetings. And so you got the creative director, and you throw this out, and you've got the artisan system head there, and the artisan system head's like, well, that's going to generate work, but it's not going to change the direction of the artisan system, so I can incorporate all of that for very minimal cost. Okay, now I'm going to use Ashes of Creation because I think it's the best template to apply that to. So now you have mayors that say, well, holy shit, man. The racing track takes up 2 building plots. But how many people come to our town or our settlement to race? Because you have to physically bring the horse and you to enter the race. So now, holy shit, now you're weighing the value of, do I put the horse track in at level 3 and hope that, okay, we're one of the first settlements in development. Do we put the horse track in and bring people to our node? Or do we not want to burn 2 of our 3 customization slots today? Do we want to put in the gladiator pit? Oh, wait a minute. If we gotta use 2 of our 3, what's more likely to stay relevant? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to use 2 of our 3 to put in the horse racing track and 1 of our 3 to put in the market. And the citizens are like, no, we need the church. No, we need this. No, you fools. What we're going to do is we're going to put in the market and the horse racing. And then a lot of people are going to come to our town and they're going to generate the money we need to get to level 4. And when we get to level 4, we're going to put in the gladiator pit, the church, and the blacksmith. Well, where are we going to get the horseshoes? We're going to make a deal with somebody else. Or you're going to build them on your freehold. We're going to have a cooperative. We're going to have synergy between citizens and the town. Oh, holy shit. Look at me cook. Steven, if you're here, get out your cookbook and take notes. Because I'm cooking for you. I'm building what you couldn't build because I don't steal money from my own company. I'm not such a ponce that I have my company buy my car for me. I hope that motherfucker gets audited for tax evasion for not counting his company car as compensation. I hope he gets fucking obliterated. I remember a couple of months ago in January when Steven said, you have to be patient for more information to come out because once information comes out, I'll be vindicated. Dude, you better hope that you got the fucking Epstein file level, like, drop of information to save your ass, because right now every single piece of scrap that comes out makes you look dumber and dumber and dumber. Taking $1 million loans at 20% annual interest? What's wrong with you? 20% interest. Who the fuck takes $1 million loan at 20% interest and calls themselves a businessman? Yes, Trump invaded Iran because of Steven's proof of the Epstein files. Yes. No. Now, somebody go check the Epstein files to see if Steven Sharif's name is in them. Roasted dragon poo. Magically roasted dragon poo. Yes, Donald Trump invaded Iran because the last name Sharif is Persian and Iran is Persian. So, and Donald Trump is a WoW fan. He hated Ashes of Creation. That's why he did it. We're such trolls. We're all going to hell. But that's okay. That's where my office is. Alright. I'm gonna hope that this is... Well, I haven't gotten any... I've gotten one piece of gear that I can sell. Look at that. Now I've got Lord Voldemort on the back of my head. The back of this helmet bothers me. Also bothers me that my staff goes through my face. But it is what it is. I will say this. There are going to be some goofy ass art bugs. They aren't a large enough team to develop all their own art assets. So they are developing a lot of things with pre-made art assets out of the Unreal Engine shop. Let me say this. That's fine. It is okay that they're using pre-made assets. It is a hell of a lot easier to use pre-made art assets and build good mechanics and change the assets later than it is to do what Ashes of Creation did and spend 9 years and $120 million and most of that money going into art assets. Yes, Stephen Sharif was secretly funded. Yeah, actually, that's actually funny because we can't figure out where the $120 million went. So that's where it went. Stephen Sharif was secretly sending money to the Ayatollah to fund the nuclear weapons program. I mean, as goofy as that sounds, so does the idea that Ashes of Creation is the product of $120 million. Like, are we for serious right now? Okay, I need one more onion. Oh, and I'm gonna learn this before I accidentally... Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. As goofy as it sounds, probably doesn't need to be said anymore because I can't believe you said that. Well, did you hear what Trump said this morning? Fair. You're right. You're good. All right, maybe the price of these items for this quest are a little high. Yeah, man, Trump, if somebody told me, if I woke up and Wolfagar was pinging me saying, oh my God, Trump invaded Canada, I would be like, cool. What's for breakfast? I can't believe you're not, you know, flipping out over this. I'm not flipping out over it because I'm not in the very least bit surprised. Trump is carving his name on the moon. Oh, he is? Oh. Seems about right. But. And the sad part is we don't have an MMO to escape into. If we had an MMO to escape into, we probably wouldn't care. We would be like, yeah, whatever. Hey, are we raiding tonight? Yeah, he's putting his signature on the currency. Everything he does is putting his name on shit. Everything. Even, yeah, wants his name on the currency. Like, dude. All he's doing right now is trying to cement his legacy. I'll tell you right now, if I didn't have to pay double taxes by moving back to Europe, I'd be in Europe. I would be in Europe by next week. Finding a house for my family. But I have to pay double taxes, so I can't do that. No, I can't. I have a very... I live comfortably. And I never have to work again. But I don't have... Like, I have, like... I'm rich in assets, and I'm poor in liquid currency. In order to move to Europe, I need to liquidate assets, and I gotta pay tax. And then, on my pension, I have to pay tax on my pension in both countries. After I live in Ireland for 730 days, then I'm a resident, and I have to pay US taxes because it's a US pension, and then I have to pay Irish taxes because I'm a resident. And that would make life a little tight and uncomfortable. Oh, hi guys. I'm really interested in the midterms and the proceedings from over the pond. Oh yeah. It's gonna be. I saw that the Senate passed a bill that we're gonna fund, but we're not. The House is now saying they're not gonna fund. Man, I wish for this country to figure out how broken it is. I wish every TSA agent would just not go to work tomorrow. Because a lot of people tomorrow are going to be trying to go home after spring break. Could you imagine if TSA just didn't show up to work? Like, nah. Not coming to work today. Might not come to work for the rest of the week. All right. So yeah, I think the amount of money you need for the first quest to do this kebab might be a little high. Although it's a good healthy, it's good because it forces you to grind and get a little bit of XP. But if you get stuck on raising capital to progress, that might turn some players off. It seems like I made money faster on my other character. I was also able to, what the hell? I was also able to kill things a little bit faster on my other character. Oh, come on. Come on, you got no hops? Yeah, right?
Hail Dragnaroks.
Wouldn't it be nice? Like, Europeans are literally like, what the fuck is going on in America? Like, Europeans are seriously like, what are you guys doing over there? And we're like, we don't know. This character is a Bone Stitcher. I like the Bone Stitcher because I like the take that they've used on healing. I really like the idea of the Sawbones mentality, that like a necromancer based ish character is doing the healing. It's something we haven't seen before. But where I'm seeing a little bit of a problem is your ability to damage. Like, I think, and don't hate me because I have a luscious mane, because this mane is amazing. I think a swap has to happen. Too late. I'm already writing it down. Steven is too late on this one. I didn't see that pop. I didn't see that come in. But yeah, go ahead. All of my ideas are free use for everybody to take. Just give me a shout out, because nothing will make your game more popular than if you say Jalon came up with this idea. I think one thing that might help is Bone Stitchers might benefit better if they had the wand as their starting weapon instead of the staff. But I have to see what magic enchant. I demand 20,000 for my horse racing idea. I will let the Square Enix lawyers know you're trying to take credit for their Chocobo racing idea. I'm gonna steal your idea, and I'm gonna sick a fucking billion-dollar company onto you. How do you like them apples?
Lot of strange folk in Soundfleet.
Stay exactly where you are. And
Again, I think it would be great. I'm gonna see. I don't. He probably didn't, but I think it would be great if, in the future, if you're gonna have towns that are loading zones. And again, I know some people aren't gonna like the game because it has loading zones. Plus R to interact. Oh, that must be all the corpses. I think it would be great if you came over to here and you talked to this guy, or if you could talk to, like, the sign. Like, if you came up to the sign and the sign said, would you like to enter, or are you just passing through? Then what would happen is, you're over here in Southmere, and you talk to the sign, so it puts you into Woodland, and you don't have to go through the town. That's like having roofers fix your roof and then calling ICE on them. Unethical ways to make money, number 99. You need a new roof, call a company that may or may not have all their people as American citizens. And then call ICE after they've been working on your roof for about 2 hours and say, you're not quite sure if the people working on your roof are citizens. Oh, that's so evil. That's so wrong. Oh my god, that's like Villain Hall of Fame right there. I want you to fix my roof. If you try to get paid, I'm gonna call ICE on you. That's so wrong. Fine kebab. And there's the fine kebab.
Did you get the kebab? Excellent. You've done great. Now, you get a good meal.
Hello there, Brilliant. As you know, us Triune followers can't use magic. Naturally, we have to fight
I think the baby Vikes have a little bit too small of a hitbox. This game gonna have a sub when it releases. I forgot what the monetization is on this game, to be honest with you. FAQ. Eternal Tombs is funded to completion. A single box price will provide access to the entire game. We will only be charging an extra subscription fee to those dedicated players that wish to create multiple characters, and will be in discussion with the community to discern an acceptable price point. That's right. That's what it was. It's a box price game, but if you want to make alts, that's where they're going to make their extra money. And this game is fully funded to completion. Now, I do want to make sure that we clarify something. Something that we're going to clarify is, well, no, Skeeters, they haven't, this game is fully funded to completion because they actually have never asked for money. Like, their testing environment this weekend is you literally go and you press the button and you say request access and they let you into testing. Which is funny to me because Steven Sharif was fully funded to completion and it looks like he never put any money into his, it looks like he never put any money into anything.
Unless this is an official inquiry, please move along. I'm not paid to chit-chat.
I did see Camelot Unchained. Yeah. It's fully funded to completion. Josh hasn't asked anybody for a penny. Hasn't sold cosmetics, hasn't sold box prices, hasn't sold funding stuff, nothing. Hasn't done any of that.
I have
Bargain today keeps hunger away.
When they say the game is fully funded to completion, it means until it's finished being developed. When Steven said it was fully funded to completion, he meant until they had enough money to guarantee ejaculation. Well, you know, it's really kind of hard for a guy like Steven to justify his behavior, especially when you start seeing stuff like, the game is fully funded to completion. I'm a billionaire gamer. I don't need your money. Oh, incidentally, my company is paying for my car. What? Why is your company paying for your car?
Accept dragon tokens.
Because first of all, that means you got your investors, which are your players, to pay for your car. I'll tell y'all right now, none of you pay for my car. None of you pay for my mileage. None of you pay for my vacations. None of you pay for anything. I pay for that shit. I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy and I don't lie my ass off and say I'm a billionaire gamer. I don't take a penny out of PGN. I don't take a penny out of PGN. I don't take a penny out of PGN music. The only thing in the hierarchy that I took money out of was PGN education. But that had nothing to do with your money. So like when I had to go to training, PGN education paid for me to go to training. But that's why PGN education is a subsidiary of PGN Inc. It never had anything to do with my community.
Perfect. Now you can harness the destructive power of the Runestone's magic without harming yourself.
I'm never. I resent Steven Sharif for hurting the industry. I resent Steven Sharif for I resent Steven for fucking over a lot of really good human beings. Holy hell, that's tasty. Like, there's a developer whose kid couldn't get medical treatment because Steven's bullshit resulted in that developer not having a job, and then, yeah, you bought him a house and a car. And then I love the bullshit that man tries to say. It was a filing problem. It was a this problem. It was a that problem. Yeah, like, you lied to everybody to say that you were building a mocap room. What happened to the mocap room, Steven? Margaret? We have a studio with over 210 people, with only a handful of them working remotely. A handful. You mean 97? Because 97 isn't a handful of people. Oh, you didn't hear that they were building a mocap room? We have almost all of the animations for up to level 25 done. Cool. Now we're building a mocap room. Why? You already have half the animations done in one style. Why are you building a mocap room? Oh, I'm sorry. I got caught up in his lies again. Because they were never building a mocap room. Other people that worked at the studio, when they heard that we're building a mocap room comment, people in the art department were like, we are? Hey, what the hell? Why did the Guardian attack me? Why did the guard attack me? I didn't attack the guard. I attacked the rat. Mocap is endgame, didn't I know? Yeah, apparently. But so now the problem is, like, Triune Studios goes looking for an angel investor, and an angel investor is going to be like, well, you know, I'm kind of hesitant to put money into a video game studio because of the Ashes of Creation bullshit. Luckily, this game is fully funded.
Unless this is an official inquiry, please move along. I'm not paid to chit-chat.
What? So, I will say, let me see if I can see how many people are playing this right now. I don't think I'll be able to. They have 151 people currently testing. On Friday, they had 242. In the last 24 hours, they've had 249. Oh yeah, 249. So their peak was 249. A year ago, they had 297. The 57 gigs,
Go away, you.
I don't remember exactly what one of the other game developers told me about when you're testing on Steam, but something, when you're still in the middle of building, you shouldn't really be compressing. You wait until you're done building and then you compress and optimize. I'm not a game developer. It makes sense
Into the flares if
that
you were hiding something.
you'll worry about shrinking the size as much as you can when you're past the testing point.
Stick to the straight and narrow.
Yeah, to make debugging easier. Which makes sense. I also know that Steam has an issue with when you're not a published game and you're a test build game. We ran into it the last time and we researched it out a little bit. You have to, when you're not a launched game, the way you're allowed to do updates is different than if you're an actually finished product. And again, I only know bits and pieces. I'm not a game developer. I've never published a game on Steam. But I know people that have, and they said, yeah, that's why some companies, even if they plan on publishing on Steam, they don't test through Steam because of Steam's rules for games in development versus finished products. That's why some games that are testing, you'll have a standalone downloader.
I have plenty of things to
Which I don't know is true, if I don't know is false. But I do know that if you're charging and you're selling through the Steam store, then you owe them their money. Know what I'm saying? Like if you're selling your beta through Steam or your alpha through Steam, they take a cut of all that, which is some kind. Yeah, that's what Camelot Unchained is doing. They're not using Steam yet, but they will. Number one, to make money. Number two, because then they can do small patches instead of having people download 33 gigs every time they make changes. And you got to think that Valve is going to be a little fucking annoyed at Ashes of Creation as well. Second time they've gotten burned by them with their bullshit. And Nephis QC is doing amazing work. He's on top of it, man. He's on it like some I can't use that expression because he's Asian. He's on it. He's all over it. He double backed and went back to the pirate software harassment. And I'm just gonna say this about pirate software. If you have to constantly remind your community with comments like, these people are kill on sight, blah, 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 as a reminder, don't take it out of game, and don't be harassing these people in real life, and always give a GF at the end, well, you've built a really toxic fucking community. I would never imagine that I would have to tell Paradox to keep it in game. I would never fucking believe that I would have to do that. If I felt I suddenly had to tell my community to make sure they kept that shit in game, I would rather just get rid of my community. And I mean that. If I had to suddenly remind my community not to be douche canoes, I'm getting rid of my community, and I'm starting over. Yeah, but to cover his ass legally, he has to say that. Uh-oh, we've got a little bit of a... Yeah, or else in court they could say he promoted it. Right, exactly. So, what's going on here? I'm going to quit the game and I'm going to log back in real quick. Yeah. It's like I've told people in my community, I'm never running a guild again. I'm too fucking old. I'm too fucking tired. I'm too fucking blind, and my hands hurt. Oh, so we have a disconnect. Did he mention that? Oh, he did. Announcements. Server's up in 5 minutes. Okay. I'll hang out. So, yeah, there's an update. How high up? I'm willing to run like the logistics, crafting, gathering, artisan, quartermaster shit. But I don't want to deal with the politics, the bullshit. Like, I would be a class officer if I was in a guild and they're like, hey, you're a really good cleric. Will you teach the other clerics? Yeah, I'll do that. But I'm too fucking old and I'm too fucking tired to deal with all the shit that you generally have to do as a guild leader. I think a lot of people don't realize how much bullshit's involved in being a guild leader. It's a lot. It's a lot of bullshit. But we're like Pirate Software, and I'm gonna call it what it is. Pirate Software bitched and moaned and whined and cried about being called a ferret fucker. But then his people are threatening another person's child. Like, when I ran my guild in Arcage, guys would make sexist comments in guild chat, and I would be like, hey, that's unacceptable. And they'd be like, well, why? I say, well, number one, I'm a father to 5 daughters. Number two, 40% of our guild is female. You're not making sexist fucking comments. So that is your one and only warning. And then half the time, the person you call out for being a sexist responds with another belligerent response. So click, kick, send them a message. This is to let you know your behavior was wrong. It was called out. And any guild I see you in will be on my personal KOS list. And so I would see that douchebag the next day in a guild, and I knew most of the guild leaders in Arcage, and I would just shoot the guild leader a message, and I would say, hey, just to let you know, that guy is former Paradox, and your guild is now KOS because that guy is a raging sexist and he's a pain in the ass. Well, one of the other guild leaders was female. And she said, what do you mean he's a raging sexist? Here's the screenshot, because I keep screenshots when of why I kick people out. And then you're literally watching as the guy gets kicked out of the next guild. It's like, dude, it's time to server transfer. It's time to make a new character. It's time to be a better human being. Because that's unacceptable. Like, one guy got kicked out of my guild because my daughter was playing next to me, and I could what the fuck? Oh, you go back to the zone line? My daughter was playing next to me, and then this guy messaged my daughter's character and says, hey, I heard you're Jay's daughter. And she's like, yeah. And then I'm not going to repeat what he said. And I'm like, nope. That's why I can see my daughter's screen when she's gaming. I'm like, you're on my personal, like, I don't care if I don't enjoy this game for the rest of time. I am killing you forever. That's why I hate people. I hate sexist people. All right. So the game is working again. You're not digging the bomber guy. It's mostly a ranger, but with grenades and a musket. Mostly just kite and wait on enough blue bar to throw another grenade. Yeah. What I would like to see... How am I updating? I just closed I closed Steam. I closed the game. The game went from running to update with a little circle. And so I clicked update. And it updated. Oh yeah, I remember these little fucks. Little fucking rabbits. They'll eat your damn face. Oh yeah, because that's why. Help if I click the aim button back, right? I loved EVE Online. If EVE Online would release a new cluster, a fresh cluster, and no skill injectors, I would go to EVE Online, and that is where I would die as a gamer. I think there are so many people interested in Star Citizen that EVE Online could release a fresh cluster, and then they could roll out the expansions every 6 months, and they would make a shit ton of money. I think people don't get involved in EVE Online right now simply because it's nearly impossible to join EVE Online right now. Yeah, EVE Classic. If they, I 100% believe this. If they relaunched EVE Online and shit, let me say this. They don't have to completely launch the builds in the order they went, because we don't need to reintroduce the problems we had just to get the solutions that we know work. But at the same time, I wouldn't want them to release it out the box with like wormholes and citadels and all that. Otherwise, people would know this is the most operative way. Like, I wouldn't want to see them put in the Tech 2 BPOs, because those were the Band of Brothers developer cheating scandal. So they would have to bring reverse engineering into the core game. Or maybe we could do the Tech 2 BPO lottery, or maybe we could do the Tech 2 BPC lottery instead. They'd have to hand massage some stuff. But I think EVE Online is a textbook example of they do so many things right. But where EVE gets a few things wrong, number one, oh shit, I don't want 3 of you. One big thing that EVE Online did wrong was clones. I die and I forget to update my clone, and I die again and I lose millions of skill points. Yeah, that has gonna piss your player base off written all over it. Instead, there should be, you died, you are this many millions of dollars. Each death should cost you the millions of ISK you need to buy the clone. And if it makes you negative, it makes you negative. But EVE Online would be an absolute, yeah, letting developers leak blueprints to their friends. Well, the developers didn't exactly leak blueprints to their friends. What they did was far worse. What they, hey, Rail, you might want to go over to their Discord and indicate that you're having a problem patching so that Josh is aware of it. Because it's working fine for some people. So, but what the developers did was they didn't leak blueprints to their friends, which would have been bad. What they did was they specifically fixed the outcome of the Tech 2 BPO auctions. And once a Tech 2 BPO went into the system, it was the only copy that was going to come through. Well, that was even worse, because it meant not only did you make your friend powerful, but nobody else can ever get that because you fixed the election. It would have been bad enough if you were sliding copies of the blueprints out and nobody knew these other copies existed. Although somebody would have figured that out because they would have said, wait a minute, I know I have the Falcon BPO and I know I haven't made any copies of it, so where the fuck are these Falcons on the market coming from? But this is why you can't have devs that are cheaters. I mean, I think that goes easily without saying. That's why ArcAge fucking failed so terribly. And now, yeah, the Council of Stellar Management knows about upcoming changes so they can exploit it. That's a problem. That's the same similar problem that we had with ArcAge. Crowlin would know what changes were coming to the ArcAge build, and he would tell people. And then sometimes those people would tell the wrong person, so the general knowledge got leaked. Like, for example, we knew when, because of Crowlin leaking to his friends, we knew not to spend any more Warriors medals, because Warrior medals were no longer going to be consumed on an RNG basis, and all the Warrior medals that you were going to have in your backpack were going to turn into straight honor. Well, we hadn't seen people at the Halcyona Wars in months. And now all of a sudden, because we find out how it's going to happen, there's 5 raids at the Halcyona Wars. Well, of course, Crowlin's friends got pissed because their secret got leaked. And then now suddenly everybody has the same advantage. And you said you 100% believe Steven would have cheated in Ashes. Steven was already cheating in Ashes. Steven was letting DA sell gold and unbanning his gold selling alts. Steven didn't give two shits about Steven didn't give two shits about his own game. I'll tell you right now, real talk. Yeah, you guys didn't know that? Give me 1 second so I'm not standing right on a spawn point. This shit was unreal, man. What Steven was letting people do with his company was just stupid. Was absolute stupid fucking bullshit. Sorry this quality is low, but this is a screen grab of a screen grab. So what Steven did, this is DA posting, Steven basically unbanning my RMT alts that got banned for selling gold. Steven says, given the state of people raging right now, it might be smarter to let them cool down a bit. Okay, that's fair. 1 week 269, 394, 635, 504, 706, 661. DA was selling gold, and unless he went through an elaborate I'm going to forge screenshots, right? Since you were all tinfoiling up in the past, I can clear that up now. Yes, there was favoritism. There were X mods that would help with RMT as well. Steven, you up? Yep, just woke up. I just removed you from a ban list. You outright said you were adamantly against gold sellers, but you were unbanning a gold seller? I'm glad you lost everything. I'm happy you lost everything, because Steven Sharif gave no fucks about his employees, and I'm sure he would say Jay can't make that statement. I cared about my employees. Okay, what's going on here again? I think it's when I alt-tab off of my game that freeze happens. Steven gave no fuck about his employees. He's gonna be like, Jay can't say that. That's slander. Motherfucker, you quit and ran away like a coward. If you had cared about your employees, you would have told your employees when you had lost control of the company. You would have let your employees know. And I know what people are going to say. Well, if Steven had let employees know he'd lost control of his company, then people like you and Karthos and BCG and other people would have known because you had friends at Intrepid. Hey, you know what the simpler way to do that is? Don't lie to people and don't lose control of your company. He got all his health back. Oh, he's responding. Do I think Star Citizen will ever launch, or will it be another Ashes of Creation? So here's the big problem. When you've been in development for this many years, right? You've been in development for this many years, and you're still making an enormous amount of money every week, then what's your incentive to launch? If I could sell $10,000 worth of music pledge backing every week, and I could do that for 8 weeks, and then put out an album, and then go right back to making $10,000 a week, why would I shorten the interval? If every 8 weeks I put out one album, and every 8 weeks I make $80,000, and I've done this now for 2 years, I have zero incentive to release more albums. What I have the incentive to do is, if it works, don't change it, and don't change it till it doesn't work. Remember, they're actually developing 2 games at the same time. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're developing one game that's supposed to be integrated into the other game. Also, no, they're not. They're not developing 2 full different silo games. And I'm sorry that if the truth hurts you, show me on the doll where the truth hurts you. They're not developing 2 full games. 2 full games is when you're developing. Right, not some shared assets. There are no unique assets. When you're developing 2 games that are using the same engine, the same code, the same sound effect, the same assets, the same engineering, you're not developing 2 full games. You're developing a game that's a subset of your main game. You're building this over here. There are some features right, but here's the thing. There are some features that are unique for the MMO part. They're not building 2 full games. They're building Star Citizen. I don't know why the fuck. Oh, that pencil's from yesterday. And over here, all the things that are built for Star Citizen is what's going into Squadron 42. That is a hell of a lot different than you have a game company like Trion who's developing Atlas Reactor and Trove and Defiance and fuck, what was the other one they developed? Oh, Rift. This setup is developing it. Dude, shut the fuck up. Stop with the fucking bullshit. You've been around my show enough to know I'm gonna fucking chew your ass and spit you out if you're fanboying and saying shit like it'll be sold as 2 different SKUs. It's not 2 separate fucking games. When I walk through the queue to get on a roller coaster, and then I ride the roller coaster, and then I walk out of the gift shop technically I had 3 different experiences. Queue, ride, gift shop. But if we're being legit, no, it's not that they're 2 different games. What they have is Star Citizen, and what they have is Squadron 42. The way it the fuck was supposed to work was was supposed to work over a decade ago, that Squadron 42 would be built and would become the foundation for Star Citizen. Trust me, over fucking 15 years ago, I was following this shit. Squadron 42 is supposed to build the base assets for the MMO. It never fucking worked that way. If you're going to fucking make bullshit excuses, thank you. Look at that. Holy shit. Skeeters, maybe I know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Maybe I'm Mr. Conductor, and let me be in charge for a little bit because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because I followed the game because I was a huge EVE Online player, and I was like, holy shit, Star Citizen is supposed to be the game that replaces EVE. Ready? I want to remind you, this is where the fuck we're at, okay? The funding period was 2012, and the launch date was supposed to be 2014. That's 12 fucking years ago. Most of the development has gone into the single-player version of the game. No, it hasn't. No, the fuck it hasn't. Most of the development plan has gone into the single-player version of the game? Really? Really? You want to make that dumbass argument? Make that dumbass argument. Most of the development has gone into the single-player version of the game? Cool. Watch as I now... then great. Then there's no reason why I can't call Star Citizen a scam. He's talking about Star Citizen. Because you're really gonna say that the majority of the development has gone into the single player game? You're telling me there's any single player game on the fucking planet worth $1 billion? You literally are you're not even drinking the Kool-Aid, man. You're sucking the dick. You're drinking right off the tip. Okay? Star Citizen has raised $955 million. They have a team of over 1,500 developers. And you're saying the majority has gone into the single player game? I don't think you know what the fuck you're talking about. It hasn't. So, hold on. The majority of the efforts have gone into the single player game. Yet Star Citizen is playable, testable, has a ton of content in it, but the majority, so $475+ million. Could you please tell Star Citizen, I know Star Citizen funds Squadron 42, but you just said what the fuck you said, right? And this is why I can't stand people. Most of the development plan has gone into the single player version of the game. So you're telling me over $475 million and 750 or more developers have spent 14 years developing a single player game? That's what you're telling me. Because you said most of the development plan, which means most has to be, okay, you're so flat wrong on this. Your homework assignment is to go back to the fucking beginning of all of Star Citizen, and I want a 15-page report with no less than 10 sources. Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't have the first fucking clue to what you're talking about. You're so fucking into La La Land. Man, you're fucking out there. Yeah, you're so fucking wrong. It hurts. Okay? It fucking hurts. I can't. Ladies and gentlemen, this is like a fucking brain shutdown moment for me because I can't believe that this shit. No, you're defending it. That's the problem. You're literally making up bullshit. As I've told you repeatedly, if you now try to say something like, well, I didn't say it, somebody else said it. No, you said it because you brought it to my show. You brought this shit up. Okay? I'm sorry, but I can't stand dumb fuck people. And if you don't like being called a dumb fuck person, stop being a dumb fuck. Star Citizen, Star Citizen, Star Citizen, Star Citizen. Squadron 42, both. Oh, hold on, you guys can't see what I'm looking at. Star Citizen and both. Star Citizen, Star Citizen, Star Citizen. Squadron 42, both. Star Citizen, Star Citizen. So tell me exactly where the majority of the work is going to Squadron 42. Where, what the fuck are you talking about? You literally can see most of the development has gone into the single player version of the game. No, it hasn't. Dude, you stand by a statement. I'm literally showing you you're fucking wrong. I'm showing you their deliverables. The majority of these are either both or Star Citizen. The fuck is wrong with you? Look at this. Look, all these are just Stars. 5 teams, 1 team, 1 team, 1 team, 1 team, 2 teams. But these is all being shit built for just Star Citizen. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like literally, why do you enjoy wallowing in stupidity? When I'm not even a goddamn Star Citizen fan, and I know this document exists. Goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, TWO has been a longtime member of the community, but I don't suffer fools. If they find it funny that I'm mad at their level of stupidity, because their level of stupidity brings down the fucking whole industry. That level of stupidity brings down, and that motherfucker is dumb all the fucking time. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't like banning people because banning people is like I get 1 follower, I lose a follower. I don't make any traction. But I will be fucking goddamned if I run a community with people in it that are dragging down the fucking average IQ. Literally. Yeah, most of their development went into their shitty server meshing. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars and hundreds of employees. Yeah, Skeeters was paying attention to it because if I was flat wrong with what I said, all the other fans would have been like, dude, you're flat fucking wrong. Squadron 42 was supposed to release shit in 14, I think. Squadron 42 was announced in 2012. And it was supposed to release. It's currently targeted for this year. That motherfucker over there is like, the majority of their development time has gone into Squadron 42. Okay, so 475 million and 750 people have only built a game with 40 hours of content. Yeah, the majority of their shit is still on the board. Yeah, it was originally scheduled for release for 2014, then 2015, then 2016, and then from 2016 until, if I recall correctly, about 2020, they didn't talk about it. From 2016 to 2021. I'm just checking my dates. And then they pulled the ultimate Steven Sharif card. After 2016, they stopped giving the dates. They stopped kicking the can down the road. And they just said, it'll be done when it's done. Yeah, they needed to make it fun. But, ladies and gentlemen, I can't handle dumb fuck motherfuckers. I can't. I refuse to. I refuse to indulge the idea that we have to allow like sub 50 IQ individuals to have a fucking opinion on not quality, on facts. On facts. Like, this is the problem with the world. And it's a huge problem in content creation. People have gotten stupid because they've been allowed to be stupid and there's nobody to call them out. And again, he's like, I think it's funny that you're getting mad. I weep for that person. Because either that person acts dumb or that person is that dumb. Squadron 42 uses its own star system. It took them years just to make the second system for Star Citizen. Right, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Squadron 42 star system will eventually, it won't be crossoverable, but that star system is slated to go into Star Citizen later as additional content. They want you to go play Squadron 42, play it, and then eventually you'll be able to travel there in the other game for nostalgia. Now, again, it's been, holy shit, 14 years, so I could be wrong on that one, but you're gonna see things in Star Citizen that were in Squadron 42. You're gonna see, because the way it was designed originally was, we're gonna build Squadron 42, and then this stuff is gonna help prop up Star Citizen. The point of Squadron 42 was to complete the game to get your citizen. Yes, exactly. This was supposed to be the introductory funnel. What's more appropriate to say is we have Star Citizen, we have Squadron 42. This is going to be our first game, and this is going to lead you to want to play this game. But if you want to start in this game, that's okay. You can start here, but while we build this, play this, and get you hooked on this. You remember, like, the Battle Royale, Castle Siege mode, and Horde mode from APOC was supposed to drive you to Ashes of Creation because you'd earn cosmetics, you'd get a feel for the game. Holy fuck, man. TWO has been a pain in the ass since they got here. I'm glad they fucking decided to finally be dumb and get booted the fuck out. Because you literally, I can't have a conversation with somebody who wants to live in a fucking alternative reality of facts. So, with that said, holy fuck, 400,000 Kit Kat bars have been stolen. That's a lot of Kit Kat bars. I'm gonna get out of here because I haven't seen my kid enough lately and I want to spend time with my kid. If you haven't checked out Eternal Tombs, I absolutely recommend you check out Eternal Tombs. Give them testing data. It's still rough, so remember, it's still rough, and it's gonna be rough because they're a small team. But what I want you to put in the back of your head is they're a small team that has never asked you for any money. Meanwhile, Camelot Unchained is like a decade late. Ashes of Creation is gone. Crowfall is gone. Chronicles of Illyria I don't even think is in a playable state. And all those people asked you for money. I'll see you guys next time.
I wonder if the organic meat sack that runs this channel knows a lot of these sponsors don't sponsor us anymore.
They were longtime sponsors. The credits are fine.
Do we get paid? Is any of this sponsorship money for Gale, Daisy, the Chaos Fund?
You are